republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, welcome. Let's see. First on the list is agenda review. Anna?
I would like to see if we can move number 5 to actually number 3, and then number 3 becomes 4, and then 5. So that way we can, our guests don't have to stay.
Anybody else okay with that?
Yep.
Perfect. Does anybody have anything else? Mary?
Oh, wait a minute. Can we put the DARE program on here? New business, maybe?
Any business? Yeah,
Please?
absolutely. So that'd be letter I. Okay. Anybody have anything else? All right, great. We can go ahead and, why don't we go ahead right into the town payment. Dino, thank you for joining us.
Sure, absolutely.
So, Michelle, sorry.
So did you give those already?
Yeah, they have them.
Yep.
So you should have a document, I think that kind of goes over, and then Michelle can kind of explain. So this is the, if you look at it, starts to the fiscal year 2023 and goes through each year up until now. And then she has highlighted certain things, but I will let her kind of explain it because I know this is her baby. So.
Not really. So, 23 wasn't too bad. We just had one payment that, a June half payment that we got in July. We have to post it when we receive the money. So the only thing is, we obviously had to pay the auditor to move it back to the correct year, because we have to post when we receive, but it was actually for the previous fiscal year. And that was the half payment, because I think you were waiting for tax revenue to come in.
Correct.
Yep.
When we have to call the auditor like this, how much does that cost?
We didn't have to call him, it was when he did the audit.
Oh, okay.
So he was here anyways, but obviously it becomes a journal entry. He ends up doing this big journal entry to move money from current fiscal year back.
You said there was a cost if we had to pay the auditor?
Yeah,
There's a
obviously, because he has to do a balance adjustment.
Do we have this?
We get charged for his time
Okay.
to figure out the balance adjustments and stuff.
Okay.
She just explained
Oh,
it.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, great.
Can't the business administrator do that as well? Do the journal entry for the credit and debit of anticipated income before we close out the year?
I don't know who the BA was at that time. I don't know if it was Frank or Sherry. I don't know who it was at that
But I
time.
think they can. I don't think it's an
Yeah.
auditor's job. I
Yeah.
think is that something that they can rectify, but I think that is the BA's
Yeah.
essentially job. Yep.
I do know how to do it now.
Yeah.
Matt showed me how to do it, so I would do it if we had to now.
Okay.
But I didn't know who did it back then. And then the next year, I think, I'm not sure what happened in February and March. And then in June, we didn't get our payment till July again.
What year is this, are you on?
This one was April, this is fiscal year 24,
Okay.
our fiscal year 24.
Gotcha.
So we run different than you guys. We go
Right.
from
Right. Yeah.
July to June.
Yeah.
So one of the things that Michelle explained, oh, sorry. You're
No, go ahead.
So posted would be the date that we received the check.
Mhm.
The payment amount would be the amount that they,
Check is,
that the check is. Then it has the local local tax and state tax. Those numbers should basically be the same all the way down. But what ends up happening is if we don't get the correct payment, those numbers have to be adjusted, because it's a percentage of that we're getting. And so that's why then at the end, you'll see that there is either money that is changed or a revised amount, so that's what that is. So I think one of the biggest problems that we run into is that when the payment, there's not a specific date that the payment comes in. So if you look at the one that we're currently on, we go from the 19th of July to the 9th, back to the 19th to the 18th to the 15th. Then we go January 24th, the 15th. So I think one of the things that needs to be had moving forward is we have to have a date in mind, right? And I would advise the board, and that would be the board's decision to do if we were gonna do monthly payments, I would advise the board that we get paid at the beginning of the month, because that's when we have to pay our bills. So my thought would be that they would bring it to their select board the month prior. So it could be at the second meeting. So for instance, the second meeting of January would be when they would approve the payment for February 1st. Now, I'm not sure if that's something that could be done, but that's what I would advise the board, because we need our payment at the beginning of the month, because we need to make pay our bills at the beginning of the month is when we usually do our bills. And if we don't know when the money's coming in, it makes it very hard for us to do that.
Mary?
We can start now.
So if we're receiving payments at the beginning of the month and they're not arriving at the beginning of the month, can we have another schedule instead of every month? Can we do like blocks?
So the law says that we can get all of our money at one time if we want. So if the payment comes in, we can get our money right then and there. But my concern with that would be is that it's broken up into two payments, right? So if the board was gonna do something like that, my suggestion would be you do half and half, right? You wouldn't, that's like saying, let's take all the money that you're getting in for taxes, but yet they collect the taxes twice a year on one bill. So I would say, maybe that's what we would do, would be the twice a year if you didn't wanna do the month.
Yeah, I just had a question real quick.
Go
Is
ahead.
currently the bills are due at the beginning of the month anyway, right?
I don't think there's
Are
a,
there?
There's no date on it.
No,
Yeah,
we don't
yeah,
have a
there's
date.
not.
It's just a month.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I would
That-
suggest that should be one of the things that
Yeah.
we do
Okay.
change,
Gotcha.
yeah.
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
never been a date, and that's part of
Yeah.
there's never been a date out there, it's just been a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
one thing.
I know that there was discussion about, how do we do it so when the money comes into the town, that it doesn't even go to the town, like it comes to the school, and I know that's not an option, but, I feel like if the town has, a month, or when you have cash flow coming in, I think we could mirror that, so if there's twice a year that the town gets funded, then we immediately get paid, so we can operate the school. I have two concerns, is that the first is that culturally speaking, we need to make sure we don't get into a position where we can't pay teachers and staff.
Right.
Secondly is that when it comes to the end of the year, we shouldn't be getting any payments in July. Like we have bills to pay, and I'll tell you that in 2022-ish time period, the school's credit was terrible because we couldn't pay our bills we weren't paying our bills on time. And that was because we weren't getting the cash flow on time.
Right.
So, when the school needs to go out and buy things, we can't buy it. We couldn't, was it Amazon even was one of them? Like we just couldn't, we can't, everybody here knows that if your credit score is 300, you're not getting a mortgage, you're not getting a car payment, you're not going to be able to buy stuff. So we need to figure out a way that this we can align with the town so this gets fixed and we don't have to deal with it again. Mary?
If we as a board were to make a motion to receive two payments when the taxes are due, would that impact the town financially in any way?
considerably. So if I might, Mr. Chair, I would like to pass these out. I made, unfortunately, I made 6 copies, made one for Donna. You guys could share maybe when it comes around for one board member and Donna, each board member and Donna. So when you get it, I'll start. What I had my team do, we put some numbers together as far as how we receive our money. And it was mentioned how we cut the checks. I'd like to start there because I think your board is probably the same. We just can't go to our finance department and say, hey, cut me $1 million check to Michelle. It has to be put in advance, and I like your idea of doing it sooner because the selectmen meet the 2nd and 4th Wednesday of every month. So then it has to go to the selectmen. We'd like to have a wet signature on these type of things. And they sign it. They sign it on that Wednesday night. And then our treasurer comes in. We have to have her sign it. And then Michelle can cut the check. And that's when we've been kind of bringing them over to you. So it's a little bit of a process to get the check. It's not insurmountable what we can do. We can tweak that to make that happen a little sooner. But what I would like to do is if you could look at the page where it says collections for the town of Wakefield, if you could go to the second billing, go to that one first because it takes roughly 19 million to run the town and the school. And of that, the school, let's just pick a number, I think it's right around 14 million. If you go to the second billing, you can see that's current what we did last year, at the end of the year when the selectmen set the tax rate. So the warrant, which we're asking for, is 11,163,121. So far to date, we've collected 10,382,000, which is about 93%. Of that, we have in the bank, after we pay our TAN, and we'll talk about that in a second, we'll have 6,355,554. That 6,355,000 has to get us all the way into, basically, we're going to do taxes again in June, and the deadline will be July 1st. So that 6 million's got to get us all the way over there. So we've got to run the town, help to obviously pay you guys your money, and that's where it gets really thin because, like you said, our years are different than your years. And what we do is, and we've asked you to do it and you've done it, we tell our department heads, even after election, not to do their capital reserves until July because that money's actually really not coming in just yet. So we stop that, we have them pump the brakes. We're as conservative as we can be until that point. There is another page. Well, let's go to first billing now. First billing is what you're going to see, what I just mentioned, which will be posted mid-May to June. That's due in July. You can see how it's different, how it's at 8,447,000 ask of the taxpayer. So that's what gives you roughly your 19 million. So it's not like the 19 is split down the middle. And the reason that the second billing is higher is because we work with DRA all year and they monitor our expenses and our revenue. And at the end of the year, they look at where we're at and say, okay, with the revenue expenses that you have, Wakefield, this is what your tax rate will have to be in order to meet your obligations. So that's when the taxes went up this year. That's why that second billing is higher, because it brings us back in sync, okay? Now the selectmen, to their credit, I have another chart here. I don't know if it's in your pile, but it talks about, maybe you do have it. It's the fund balance history. Do you have that one?
Yes.
Okay. So you can see it goes all the way back to 2016, and you can see where it says tax rate. That's the amount that the selectmen placed towards the tax rate to bring it down or to keep it even. Mm-hmm. Where we ran into a jam, and I'll be the first one to apologize to the board, when we had a couple of years ago that kind of wonky payment structure, we thought that we were off kilter because of your payment structure. What it was, and we learned this through our auditors, that we were putting too much money towards the tax rate. So if you put $500,000 to buy down the tax rate, That 500,000 is counted as revenue with DRA. So that $500,000 is expected to come through your books. Well, you can see where the selectmen, they did a 750 one year,
Yeah,
and if you look to the right, you can see the 995, because 245 was added to that for the warrant articles. So that's roughly $1 million that should be revenue coming through. And that's when the auditors said, look guys, you're putting too much money towards the tax rate because now that money's not coming through your system. So now we're running tight, which puts us in a panic, and unfortunately, it puts you guys in a panic because you're waiting for your money. The short answer to you, and sorry I'm rambling on
No,
here,
it's
but
okay. That's fine.
This is good clarification.
the short answer to your question of can we do twice a year, we quite frankly would have trouble running the town, and we would have to do a TAN. So a TAN, for those watching at home, is a tax anticipated note. We've done 2 in a row, and the first one I wish was the last one we did. We had to do another one this year because when we got close to the end, and that's why your December payments were so wonky, we had roughly $280,000 left in the bank after. So we got our TAN, and that TAN kind of went right to you. And now we have to pay that back in February, okay? So when you get a TAN, there's interest. So I did some rough numbers. If we did $7 million to you guys in a TAN form, that's if we could get it, because you have to apply, like you said, Bob. You have to apply just like a loan. Got to have the good credit. It's roughly $104,000 in interest that we'd be putting on the taxpayer to do a TAN just to give you your half a payment. So I think there's a better way around this, whether it's quarterly or we tighten up what we're doing. But 2 payments a year, although the law is very vague, it says yes, you can demand it. Doesn't say how you go about it. Doesn't say if you get into a battle with the town. I think there is a way around it, and I truly believe that we can work together and kind of iron this out. We just wanted to give you our side of it, where we're at. We're coming to you kind of saying, yep, we threw too much at it, but to their credit, they didn't throw anything at it this year. So everything that we've asked for in tax revenue will be coming in. It'll be in the books. My team here, Michelle and Tony, they won't be panicking because they called it. They called it this year. I think it was in April or May. They said, we're probably going to need to do another TAN. And I didn't believe it, but sure enough, it just dwindles and dwindles and dwindles. I don't think you have this, but I have some bank statements here that just show that we the ebb and flow of what we do. And for example, back in 2025, in May, we were down to $983,644 before we posted to get more tax revenue for that first posting. So I hope the school board doesn't think that we're hoarding your money, we're making interest on it, we're keeping it from you. It's just not there, and we're just being honest with you the way it comes through.
The clarity is really great. A couple things. First is we want to make sure that we can iron something out to work with the town so that the school can stay solvent and we can pay our bills, the town can pay their bills. We don't want to have this issue where we're coming into a time of the year where we're really worried about paying teachers,
right?
Because payments aren't coming in, and so there's that piece. And it's funny, as you were talking, in my mind I was thinking, okay, well maybe quarterly, because even though our fiscal year is off from yours, the quarters would line up. So we'd go July to September, December, so on and so forth. So I quarterly would be great, in my opinion. I think that part of the reason why we're bringing it to this level is that there's this panic, and the lack of communication between the town hall and the SAU office.
Yeah.
And so, regardless of what we do, we need communication. We need phone calls. We need return phone calls. If we need to be able to, if you know that the payment's not coming, for whatever reason, we have to be able to plan internally, and we can't sit here without a phone call or a lack of a phone call, and then say, so what do we do? Because nobody's returning our calls at the town hall. So, and I hope we're over that period at this point, and I hope tonight we can just kind of iron something out.
Sure.
And kind of move forward with a plan, so what is everybody's thoughts on like
Donna
a
still has a
quarterly?
question.
Donna?
So I just want to add, when I call Dino, he returns my call, so I'm thankful that he always does that, so it's really good. And normally we have a conversation, he says, give me a couple days, I'll get it to you, and he has it to me in a couple days.
Mhm.
So that's been really great. In fairness to the town, there's never been a date set. So technically, they could drop the check off on October 31st, because it says within that month.
Mhm.
So I think that coming up with a date would be beneficial to both of us, because then it wouldn't be, hey, do you have our check? Well, I wasn't planning on doing it until our next meeting, which is in 2 weeks. Not that has happened, but it could, right? And so this way we have that date, and so we know this is when it's gonna happen. I didn't know if you guys wanted to kind of just go through, because like Dino said, the fiscal year 25 is where
Right.
we saw the most concerning. This year, if you
This
look,
year's been fine.
the what?
This year's been good.
Yeah, this year,
year,
if you look
good.
at the last one, I mean, there hasn't been any issues. You
Well,
know,
and
it's just the date, the fluctuation with the dates,
Well,
right?
and I understand that, but I see,
Well,
in
November was-
25, I see, October of 25, there was a payment on 10/14. Then we didn't see November's payment until 12/4. So we're not getting it within that month
Right.
on a regular basis. And so that, I hear what people are saying, but the history says otherwise. And that's where we start to get concerned, because the month comes and goes, we didn't get a payment, and we're not getting a call from town hall proactively saying it's coming. Like, that's where, that personally, that's kind of where I feel like we need to align ourselves a little bit better and communicate. Sandrea?
Yeah, well, I'm thankful for this breakdown, because actually, now that you say that there's no due date on anything,
Right.
they're not late. They're, as far as 23 was 2 payments, 24 was 2 payments, 25 was 1, and so far we're at 1, because if they can pay within the month, they're not late.
Right. So
So,
we need
I
to
mean,
set
that
due
is a really easy fix that should have been done a long time ago. But, my only concern is, like, if, if we pick a date, do you think that you'll be able to have the monthly payments in time before that? I mean, cause really, I've been told that they've all been late, but looking at this,
Yeah.
if there's no due date, there's 1 to 2 payments a year that are late.
Yeah,
So-
and Michelle's nodding her head, so I would defer to her
Yeah.
if she thinks absolutely. We could pick a date, whatever the board likes, and we can make that, and like Donna said at the beginning, I don't know if Mark was here yet, but she was talking about maybe doing one ahead of time, the month before, so when we get into the first week of that next month, it's already taken care of. That's something obviously that we can do as well. Rob, I'd like to go back to your November, then the December payment.
Yes.
That was the tan. So we were in huge
Oh.
panic.
Yeah.
Chickens with our head cut off. So we had to wait for the tan to physically pay you guys. And again, we really think, I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
I really think we're going to be past that.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Bob?
So do you think a quarterly would be better than a single date every single month, or you think, so it doesn't put the stress on it a little bit, so you get a quarter to do this?
Historically, it's always been a month. I don't know where this got broken, because I've been around for a while. It's never been as broken as it was this prior year. I don't know if it was because of the administration that was in here or whatever, but it just seems like the budgeting plan wasn't here, and we'll take a little bit on the chin for that, the tan and everything like that, but it's always been, okay, come up with a figure every month that you guys can live with, that you can budget to, and we'll provide it. We've been providing, what, $1.2 million now, I think, is it?
I think it's under, what is it, about 1.1 we're doing a month now? Yeah.
Yeah, and if it needs to be 1.2, let
So
us
Mark,
know.
so one more quick question towards that. So you've done 2 TAMs already?
We've done one back-to-back, yeah. We did one this year and then
Is
last
that
year.
because you had to pay the school?
Well, we just had bills. I mean, you can just.
Not just the school, though?
No.
It was, it's the way the money comes in, and that's why, we gotta be a little bit, better about getting down to where we get down to the end of the year, but I wanna be able to provide the school with a number every month and have it be something that you can live with, that you can plan your budget out with. We'll provide it. You know, I don't wanna get into, because it's worked for years,
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden it got broken.
well, we haven't had tan for years either, right?
Right.
Before this.
Well, but there was a figure that was agreed upon, and then all of a sudden, I think they were asking for a little bit more than what we usually.
That was the last administration, yeah.
Yes.
That was the other cycle, and I think that got very bumpy, because there was one payment that was like 2.4 million.
Yep.
Right.
And we pumped that out, and then it really, that was in the beginning of the year, right?
Yeah.
Like, springish.
But that was in the same time that we were having that amount to the taxes too, that
Right.
messed us
Right,
up,
so if you're to look at this other page which says half school payments, that's a history that goes back to 2014, and Michelle put this together. You can see the dates in June, and then there's another one in November, because again, it all lines up with, these are the months that were short, and they would call the school and say, we'd like to split the payment this month. But I was unaware of what Donna said, because I never knew that if we do split the payments, it changes your equation,
Yeah.
everything changes, and you've gotta allocate.
Yeah, that's
that.
what this year was. It was all
Right.
half, we didn't get, oops, sorry.
No, you okay, go ahead.
We didn't
I
get,
was
like,
saying right
the,
here.
I think past admin wanted 928,000 whatever per month, and we were only getting 498,000 or 400,000, 350,000. We weren't getting the full month payment each month. So I think this was the year that some months were higher because of Spalding's bills, where all the other years were one flat monthly rate, if I remember right, from
Yeah.
before, like, the BA and the female BA under Jerry, I try not to say names, but yeah, so they were always monthly payments, flat monthly. And
Right.
this year, that's what I did, because after we had that meeting last
Right.
year, I said, do you want me to go back to monthly? So I think this is working, the monthly, but
Mr. Chair, if I might?
Yes, sir.
So tell me, because we have the county payment in December. That's our big one, right? It's like 1.7. You have Spalding at what month?
no, end of November, beginning of December.
Okay.
So that's over $1 million.
Yeah.
And then February over $1 million, and then June over $1 million.
Yeah.
So those are,
So that's terrible. It's terrible for the town, it's
Right.
terrible for the school.
Yeah.
Let's
So-
talk about that for a second. The second billing, which is when the board sets the tax rate, we have to rely on so many different groups in town to finish with the Department of Revenue, right? And school was really good this year. You guys were in on time. Sometimes we've had other groups, and I'll keep the names out of it, but if they're late, the DRA won't even call me until everybody's in and approved. So we must have been 3 weeks this year waiting to set the tax rate. If we can set that tax rate, as soon as we did, we had all the ducks lined up, and we're off to the races, and we send them out to the mailers, right? But until we get that, and that's why you're seeing the late fall and winter time is very stressful. Stressful for you guys,
Yep.
stressful for us, because until we set that tax rate, the bills don't go out. And when we send the bills, it's 30 days. We have 30 days that we
And
allow.
some people only don't pay in 30 days.
Some people do not pay in 30 days. And then the group, what's the name of the group that holds all the mortgages?
CoreLogic.
CoreLogic, which is basically over a $2 million bill. They hold all the escrow taxes for everyone that has a mortgage in town. They wait until the 30th day.
course they do.
Of course they do. Right? So we don't get that big shot in the arm until the very, very end of the year. So we feel your pain, because I know you and I have had this conversation. We have the county, you have Spalding. So it's very, very stressful, but I do think we can work through it. I don't want to come up with any answer, because I think Mark should talk to the board and find out what they think, and then that'll give me a chance to talk to my team as well. But
That's great.
it's either stay monthly and we get really, really tight with it, or if Michelle thinks that we can do quarterly, I guess we'll look at that.
Yeah.
You know, so
Sandra,
I'll look
did
at
you have
both ways.
something? You had your hand up for a while.
Yeah, I did. So the TAN's payment. So even if we go back to monthly, and it's not fluctuating per what our bills were to help us to pay Spalding, because I do see why the highlights were for the different numbers. It's because they were trying to catch up on certain bills, but one, I guess I just have a couple questions. One, do we send a physical bill to them to pay every month, or do they just have a list so they know? So you're not waiting on us.
We
so
have
it's
a
not
schedule,
like-
right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're not waiting for our administration to send you these monthly,
Nope.
so that's not,
Nope.
that's not
No.
our administration's fault.
They,
You're welcome. The TANs payment, so if we go back to monthly and it's equal for 12 months, how sure are you that you're not gonna need to get any more TANs, to cover your bills with the town hall? Cause it's not just all due to the school, obviously you guys have got some other things that you're dealing with as
Yeah.
to why you need to keep borrowing money and then having more interest for the town.
Exactly. I'm in hopes of what I said a little while ago, that with the selectmen not putting 500, 750,000 towards the tax rate, which is great, and it makes people feel comfortable. The tax rate's either staying the same or it came down a little bit. The flip side to that coin is that's money not coming through our system. So look at it this way, by the time October, November comes and we're scrambling to set the tax rate, we're short $700,000 if they put that towards the tax rate. And that's when we start running into a jam. I don't have a good answer for you saying yes, no on the TAN, but this year I'm confident with the money that's coming through. Wouldn't you say?
Yes.
I'm putting her on the spot.
Yes.
Have you figured out where the lapse is as to why we needed these TANs throughout the years, or why you've had the
Yeah.
issues?
Year end, really.
It's the year end and it takes so dang long. You've been around where they've set the tax rate, what, late October?
Yeah, we used to always set it in October.
Yep, and Tony and I have on our calendar, beginning of September, we start hounding people. You got to get ready with the DRA. You got to get ready, and we put out this big email, and still it's really, really difficult. So it's herding cats right to the very end to try to get this done. So
You know, maybe we could have heavy months or whatever, you know, we could,
I would prefer that too. Would the board be receptive to that? And if instead of 1.1, they get 1.5, 1.6, something like that, heavy months?
You
Is
did
that what you're
heavy
thinking?
months before.
tried to
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what that other one was.
Michelle, go ahead. You were.
So, the town payment schedules are done ahead of time. Well, actually, you can do them right after the vote, once we
Right.
know the net school appropriation after the vote. I can do it for July, so they know. I email it to Michelle and Dino, so they know their schedule. Then, when the tax rate is set and we know what we're getting for adequacy, they get a revised payment. It either goes up, that they owe more to us, or it goes down, they owe less to us for the second half of the year. So, schedule's done 2 times a year. This year it happened to go up because we got less adequacy and the tax rate went up. So, that's how they're done.
Okay. All right. Did anybody have any other questions or comments?
I do not, but I mean, we don't have to make a decision right now, I think.
No, I think the discussion, the clarity's been super helpful.
Right.
At least just a date for now on the bill would be great.
I mean, we could make a motion on a due date now.
I think that would be
I
good.
think that's-
At least do a due date.
Yeah.
I would suggest it to the board if we could, I don't know if they're ready to give a date when they can do it, but if you want for Dino and I, you know, to work together, he can work with the select board and I can work with you guys and we can come up with a date, preferably in the beginning of the month to do that, but if that's
Yeah.
okay with the board, because I don't know, I know they wanna go back and talk to their members, the select board as well, to say, you know, here's the, you know, this is what we're thinking for a date. So I don't know if that's something that the board wants to do, or if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'd like to wait, I think there's
Yeah.
more discussion that needs to be had about
Yeah.
it, and, you know, I'd like Michelle to give their input
Yeah.
Yeah, we
on
don't-
the dates and what works best for the school and the town.
Yeah, we don't wanna rush a decision. We want all parties to have
Raise your hand.
Yeah, I know.
say.
Bring it up
I
high.
know.
Michelle, go ahead.
Right. So go back into where Mark said some heavy months. So in 2025, when we had the heavy months, going back to the tax rate where we put too much towards it, and I think that's why it didn't work. But I believe that this year that heavy months would work as well.
Yeah.
And our heavy months, just give them a rough, what would our heavy months be? It's on the months they
January
don't.
and July, maybe?
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
yeah, 'cause-
July, definitely.
Yeah, definitely July, yeah, because that's when the tax rate comes out and,
And I think you said
Probably-
December.
December.
yeah, about December, yeah,
It's just getting that tax rate set.
yeah.
Donna, you had mentioned when we spoke about, I don't know, 3 weeks ago or so, either a monthly update or some sort of email or summary from us to you guys, I think is appropriate. Excuse me, and maybe it's, I come over and I sit with Donna and I just brief her where we're at, you know, financially or whatever. If the board's receptive to that, I think it does what you're looking for, Mr. Chair. Kind of gets that cohesiveness kind of back together. So you're not just kind of, what's going on with the
Yeah.
town, right?
100%.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, because the communication, I think, is the big piece to the puzzle.
Yeah.
If we know what's going on, then we can plan accordingly too, you know, especially if we have a little bit of a time, or, I know that's not always easy, but, you know, we can try to strategize.
Sure.
Bob?
Michelle, when was the last payment from the town?
January 8th or January.
So,
So we're good right now, I
We're
guess.
batting 1,000 in 2026. We're doing all right.
And it was a full payment.
There you go. Because that was a flush month.
Yeah.
all right.
So that's what I was thinking, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
You know, like January, we're usually cash heavy, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that could be one of the heavy months. You know, give them more or whatever. And then the same thing when, you know, like July rolls around, because it always creeps down to that end of the year when we're short, because the tax bills haven't been sent out, and they don't come due until the end of December. So January is when we really start building up.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
Oh, yeah, one more thing.
Yeah.
So, Michelle, the revenue that you guys receive, is it in like one lump sum, or do you get some throughout the year?
We get it throughout the year.
You do? Okay, because that's what we do too, so I was just wondering if, yes.
So just one of the things that we can work on is trying to, if we could get paid by May, right, because June we start to close out our books.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we'd look, and not to have any payments in
June.
July.
Oh.
June.
Because it's,
June.
yeah, June, no payments in June or July, because that's the end of our.
Which
Oh,
would be good for
okay.
you.
Yeah,
Okay.
which might help you guys.
Because, to explain that a little bit more, because in June is all our teacher payouts.
Right.
So depending on when that roll buyback check falls in June, that could potentially be the first paycheck in June, where we're paying out the summer on that paycheck. So that is
It's
a heavy month. And
Okay.
the last bill of Spalding and Governor Wentworth.
And if we gave you a little extra to make up for that June payment, let's say, if we gave you enough throughout from now until June, you would set that aside and you wouldn't have
Yeah,
to worry
we would
about
just
it?
stay, yeah. So,
Yeah.
and I think we were trying that one year, but it didn't happen because of the TAN situation. But to not have you pay us in June to get everything, so instead of 12 months, doing 11 months.
Yeah.
Making
Yeah.
the payments, dividing them by 11 months.
The first billing, I spoke to the tax collector today, and the first billing, we don't have to wait for the selectmen to set the tax rate. We don't have to work with the DRA. It's just, if the voters say yes, then we have our numbers, and we can start that kind of mid-May, late May, get that out there, and it still wouldn't be due until the end of June, July 1st. I think that's by state law. But people, this last billing cycle, they were really anxious to, God love them, they were really anxious to pay. I mean, we got it out there and they started coming right in, so.
Not without complaint, though.
See,
He gets the complaints, right, that's true, that's true. So,
July and August, we're not paying a lot. We're
Yeah.
not. I mean, we're paying our warrants for the trust funds, but we're not paying a lot of bills.
Right,
So,
right.
So that's something you can work on.
Right.
Yeah, I guess we just have to work that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
We can work that out.
Well, I appreciate your time. It was very,
Oh.
very productive, and
Well, thank you for having us in.
yeah,
Really.
no, it's great.
Appreciate that. We can figure something out, because
Mm-hmm.
the last thing we want to do, we don't want to stay away from TAN's unexpected money toward the taxpayers, and we want to get away from that, so.
We agree with that 100%.
I've always hated that
Bill's big.
expression, the town and the school.
I know.
We're all
Yeah.
one town.
We are.
I agree.
100%.
Exactly.
I agree.
Agree.
Yep,
Right.
I agree.
It's not our money, it's not your money, but unfortunately, it does cycle through us, and
Yep.
we'll figure something out.
Perfect.
Okay?
All right,
Thank
well,
you,
thank you
guys.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
I'm gonna keep that for you.
Be back, you need to get these copies, so you take mine, you wanna take a look at them.
I'll get a phone.
You want to fill them?
Mark, you want the minutes? You want
Yeah,
them?
you can send it to me, yeah.
Okay, then you can use that to bring to your board.
Yep,
Okay.
thank you, so.
Stay warm.
Yeah, I try.
Great.
No.
And it's still
And
you
what's
have
the temp in here?
It's cold.
Right.
It is
Thank you
cold
guys,
in
have a
here.
good rest of the night.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
We have ours on 7:05.
We'll see you.
Can we
Yep.
turn it up?
Turn my heat vest on.
What?
Turn my heat vest on.
You have a heated.
Sold that out. Is it a heated vest? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Okay. So, how do we wanna proceed? Do you wanna put something on the agenda for the next meeting?
I
Under-
think,
To see
yes,
if they speak to
and
us.
let's allow for, Michelle to, like, have Michelle and Michelle talk about it. I know
Yep.
Mark said that he had to go to the selectmen meeting,
Yeah.
talk about it, let them handle it, and then bring it back to us, how they want to proceed, I think.
I think it's something that we said we'd put on every month anyway.
Yeah, perfect.
So it's something
Just an
that's on there
update.
anyway, yeah,
Okay.
so we already decided to
Yeah, if
move
there's no
forward with
update, there's no update.
Yeah,
Right.
Right.
perfect. All right, so let's move on to presentations.
Sure. So what I normally do, and this is a learning curve for me because the way our district does it a little bit different than what I'm used to because we have the budget committee, and so normally the school board does a presentation of the budget, public hearing, and then I normally go to another one, and it's done, another public hearing is done for the budget committee. So where you do it as one, and it doesn't allow for me to do a kind of presentation, an overview, so that way there's some clarity and transparency. I wanted to do a little bit tonight. This is also posted on our website, and I sent it out to families, well, on our Facebook page and stuff today, to kind of go over a little bit of the process. And there's a few other things in here that I think are of importance to go over with the board. So, this is the mission of the school. Every learner will be prepared with confidence, skills, and knowledge to be successful, contributing members of the community and society. So right now that is what our mission is set for at Wakefield School District. Then we have core values, and I'm not gonna read what each one is, but basically it is the environment, relationships, successful learning, academic potential. Oops, I went too quick. So those are what like I said, you have this in your packet as well as it's on our website. This year, when we were looking at doing our budget, we had to set some goals, right? And so looking at what is important to Paul's school to make our kids successful. So the very first thing that we look at is to recruit, retain high quality staff, right? So we do that because it shows you there for consistency, for mentorship, for reducing turnover costs, because as you know, every time we have new staff, we have to train them, they leave, we have to do the same training again, so it's not cost effective to keep turning staff over. Then the second goal was to improve curriculum and instruction, because we know you need to have that consistency within the grades as well as vertically in order to be successful. So these were some of the things that we looked at. It's important to be able to monitor, to progress monitor, to see what each grade level is doing, so that way we know what the outcomes are at the end of each grade. So every grade filters into the next, the next, the next, so that way when our 8th graders leave here, they're prepared to go to, whether it be Spalding or whatever high school of their choice, ready, prepared to learn the concepts that go along with that grade level. And then, so we're looking at it. How do we do that? We're looking at aligning our curriculum K-8, strengthening our instructional practices, and then purchasing the required curriculum books, materials, and software to improve the curriculum for all of our tiers. So tier 1 would be our regular classroom, tier 2 would be in the middle, tier 3 would be our high learner, the ones that need extra support. Tier 2, you may think that might be Title I. right? Tier 3 may be special ed, right? So our kids can filter through all of those tiers. So we want to be able to provide them with the correct programs for their needs. Because if we're trying to teach a child in Tier 1 using one method, one way, and they're not getting it, taking them out of a room and teaching them the same exact way is not going to be a positive learning environment for that child. If they didn't get it the first time, they're not going to get it the second time. And then what happens is they move to Tier 3, and if you do the same thing, it's not going to happen again. So each tier should be a different program that these students are learning. It could be the same concepts, but it's a different program in a different way for them, more individualized to their learning. The third goal was to improve student behavior, whether it be mental health or emotional health, right? We did notice that we had a lot of kids that their behavior was putting a barrier on other students' learning as well as their own learning. So we needed to really take a look at that, and we have been taking a look at that. We know it's affecting their academic performance, right? So this all goes in together. So if we're improving student behavior, we're going to see academic performance. We're going to see a healthier learning environment. We're going to see teachers that want to be here. We're going to see, positive outcomes on our testing scores. Then the fourth goal that we look at is to improve culture and climate. So we need to make sure that our school district displays the foundational roles to shape the future of our kids, right? So we need to make sure that we have a community of educators that are here for the long haul and want to stay. Because we know that when a teacher first steps foot in a classroom, it's all about classroom management. How do I manage these students, right? It's not until their second, maybe third year when they actually start doing the programs that are in place, because they're still new and they're still trying to learn, how do I handle this behavior? How do I handle this child with this disability or this emotion or these things going on? Especially now when we're in a situation where we have a lot of our staff that are on alternative plans, which means they didn't take the traditional route to go to get their education degree. So it could be someone that's been in the business world forever, and now they're coming in to teach math, right? And so we have to step back and do all of that training. Keeping in mind that when a person comes in for an alternative program, what ends up happening is there is a criteria that any school has to follow. When I say school, I'm talking about like Plymouth State, higher education, that this is what the person needs in order to be in the field of education. The same fits for an alternative. They're given, here's what the outcomes are, this is what you have to do. Some people may be able to take classes to fit into those, but it's this, at the end, they're both meeting the same competencies, whether they're coming alternative or they're going to the school setting. Just some of the things are self-taught in a classroom, right? When a teacher comes in, they've been through curriculum, they've been through learning, because they've had student teaching, so they have more of an understanding of what it's like to have kids in front of you, whereas somebody in an alt plan doesn't have that. But we're very lucky because part of our improvement of our culture and climate, we have a really robust mentoring program now that our mentors meet with our teachers, our new teachers, 1 to 2 year teachers, every month. They go into their classrooms and watch them teach. The mentoring mentees will go in and watch their mentor teach. So we have a really strong mentoring program here in our school district. And then when we take all of those factors and we say, what drives a budget? So here's the 6 factors that drive a budget. But one of the things that we have to look at is right now we don't have a strategic plan. So we kind of have to visualize what would be the outcome of our students, right? And I kind of have to figure, okay, if we were to have a strategic plan, what were some of the things that we'd have in place? It's almost considered like portrait of a learner. What do we want our kids to do when they graduate, each grade? What do we want them to be successful in our community when they graduate high school? So that kind of ties into that. But you have to look at, our number 1 factor is wages and benefits, right? Our number 2 factor would be our enrollment data, right? How many staff members do we need for how many students we have, and how does that factor into our pay? Then we look at revenue, cost savings, expenditures. We look into what does it cost to run our facilities, our maintenance cost. Then we have to look at our out-of-district costs. What is it costing us for our students that are being placed out of district? One of the things that we're lucky about is we do have a cost savings through our PAUSE program by allowing some of our students to stay in our district versus outsource, and it's a horrible word to you, but outsource to a different school where we're paying them. And the cost is ridiculous, the amount that it costs for kids to go. Not only the cost for out-of-district placement, but transportation is outrageous. If we have, and some of you may not know this, if a family becomes homeless, so they become homeless and they live in Wakefield, and they have to go live with somebody in Manchester, we by law have to pick those children up and bring them to school here. That can cost us $600 a day just for transportation, right? So there's a lot of cost, and that is not, we don't get that money back. That's just what we're required to pay. We do put some things into grants that allow us for certain things to be able to get money back for any type of homeless or anything like that. But those are factors that we have to take into consideration. One of the things that you're going to see in one of our warrant articles, the out-of-district cost, right? So that out-of-district cost is not necessarily, for us, wouldn't be our special ed population. It could be other students if a certain law or a warrant article is not passed. And I'll talk about that as I get closer to that. This is our proposed budget. So when you look at our adopted budget for the 26, it was the 13 million. Our proposed is 14. Our default is 14. So if we look at our proposed budget, it's 960 more than our budget for last year, our adopted budget that we're on for this year. And then it's 187 more than our default budget. I wanted to break it down so that way people had a more clear view of what it looks like when you're looking at budget from this year to next year versus our default and what we're asking. This slide right here talks about the cost per pupil. That is done every year. So if you look, I have 2 years on there. I have the 23-24, which is in the small gray box. So if we look at Wakefield, it costs $19,000, or $19,879.91 for us to educate a student in 2023-2024 school year. If you look at this year, it's $20,641.68 for us to do one child in Wakefield. I also did the state average, so if you look at the state average, it's 23,000. And what I did it based on just elementary. I did not put the component of high school in there, because high school would be a different rate. I just did this on the cost per pupil for us here. If you look at Governor Wentworth, it's 27,000, almost 28,000 per child is what they pay per child in their district. So it's $7,000 more a year than what we invest in our children here. I also included the link down the bottom, so anyone that wants access to this, again, it's on our website, can click that link and they can see what it is throughout the entire state of New Hampshire, what the costs are, as well as high school.
Can I just ask a question real quick, just to
Yes.
clarify on Governor Wentworth Regional, because doesn't that cover Kingswood Regional High School?
But that is just elementary.
That's just elementary?
Yep, I only did elementary.
And
I
how many-
imagine
how
their
many-
budget would go to everything though, right?
Right.
The total cost, and then it's divided out by pupil.
How many schools
Yes.
is that?
Yeah.
So it depends on how many kids.
Because
they
that's
have,
not just
too.
one K-8 school.
Yeah.
Right, no, that's their entire, it would just say Kingswood and then elementary, and that's their per cost, that's per student though.
No, and I understand that, but when they have a much larger infrastructure with a lot more overhead, the cost is gonna go up. So
Yes.
I don't know if that's a fair comparison, like
Yeah,
Milton.
Rochester too.
In
Right,
Rochester's
well,
the
that's
same
why I
way,
kind
too.
of, yeah, well, I tried to get the places where our
Yeah.
families would go.
Okay,
So that's what I tried to look at,
Yep.
close in our area.
no problem.
Now, what this part is right here is, I had told the board that we are what's called an ATSI school. And so what that is additional target support and improvement. So what this means is that in 2003, we were identified in one area, which is special education, that we needed more improvement in that category. So what they do is the state comes in and they identify schools every 3 years, and they set a what they call a cut score, and you can see at the bottom the cut score that they do, and you have to be above that cut score in order to not make their report card list. So you can be a CSI school or an ATSI school. CSI school would be all of your population doesn't meet the criteria. We are just the ATSI, which means only one section of our population does not meet the criteria to not be on their targeted list. So what happens when you become on this list is that you're on it for 3 years and you have to get your way off it. And I'm gonna talk about how we can get off it. But the very first thing that you need to do is the state says, you need to develop a plan. And this plan has to say what you're going to do to get out of this, right? So what we did is we sat down as a team and we went over our plan. And so what we did is it's 2 areas that we looked at. We looked at math and we looked at language arts. So in our math, we said, okay, we need to provide training in our program that in our math program that we're currently using for all staff. We need to implement a district level math program. We need to designate block time for math instruction. That's uninterrupted time. So that means nobody's being pulled for that time, no phone calls are coming down to the office. Obviously, if a parent comes to pick up a child, that's different. But it's a non-interrupted time for the teachers to be teaching math, because math is one of our areas of weakness, so we need to make sure that we're paying close attention to that. Then we have bi-monthly data meetings to see the trends, to see areas that we may need to look at, take a deeper dive into, or to assess our children to go into groups. We do have math intervention that we can utilize for our students that need that math intervention piece. And then we support and coaching when needed, right? So we may have teachers that say, I can't do X, Y, and Z. I need some support for somebody to come in, so we do that. We also look at the data and we may say, okay, well, we're noticing that this teacher may be having some difficulty in this area. Talking to them and say, how can we support you? What would you like for us to do? They may go visit another classroom that is teaching that. They may have somebody come in and teach a lesson, talk about classroom management. We may have other things we put in place for them. It all depends upon the needs of that individual teacher. But we do the same for the students, right? What are the individual needs for those students in that class? And we provide those supports. So we do that. Then we looked at language arts. We put a lot of the same things into it. So one of the things that we need to do is implement a new research-based language arts program. We currently don't have one. So we need to put one in place. So currently we have the curriculum team looking at one. And on March 25th, I have March 12th is a PD day. Part of that PD day will be going over programs. So that way the staff can get programs in their hand. I reached out to a couple of organizations. They sent me free stuff. So it'll be in the hands of our curriculum committee as well as our teachers to kind of look at it, talk about it. We've also put in place some visits to other schools that use those programs, so that way the teachers can actually go in and watch these lessons being taught and have conversations with teachers in other districts that are showing success. So one of the programs, it's CKLA, which is a language arts program. Londonderry has a really robust program with that, and they've been using it for years. So we will take a team of teachers down there, and they will be able to watch these teachers do their thing, and then be able to have conversations with them about what do you think of this program, what works, what doesn't work. And this also is going to set up teams for our staff. So if we bring a first grade, like we'll probably do a 1, 2, and 3 one day, and then either the next week or the next week bring the other 1, 2, and 3. So that way they're both getting to see it. But now they have that mentor teacher from another district that they can talk to and say, oh my goodness, this isn't working, what did you do, right? As well as offer them the training through the programs. So because we need to make sure that we are offering this to our staff, doing the same thing with the math program. I've reached out to a couple of other districts that do our math program. Our teachers will be going there to visit them, to see how they run their math program and what do they do, how do they run their centers, what works for them. And so that way they can see how it works in their district. They can have those conversations with those teachers. But also, again, we're designating an ELA block. So no interruptions, strictly for them to be able to do the language arts. And then we have Title I, that is a push in or pull out for our students that have needs with, based on data, right? Because we're very data driven this year, that in order to be in a Title I group, there's certain data points that you have to hit. So it's not just for anyone, and it's not saying our teachers do this, but it's, I've seen it where someone says, well, I need this kid out of my room for a little while because they drive me crazy all day. Let's put them in a Title I group. It's not like that. There's data points that the child has to reach in order to go into these groups, and they're reassessed. So it's not, if you're in September, you may be out of it in November. You may be out of it sooner if you reach those marks. So we're making sure we're doing that. As well as we're looking at doing progress monitoring of our students. One of the things that we talked about is a program that's called, it's DIBBLS, where you progress monitor a child's reading ability, and it will determine what grade level they're at reading wise. We have I love it when I go into a room and I say, what is that up there? And they're like, oh, that's DIBBLS. Yeah, did we take it down and use it? Oh, none of us are trained in it. So we bought all these beautiful, the whole kit and caboodle of DIBBLS, but no one is, I shouldn't say no one is trained in it, because some teachers come trained in it, but no one's really trained in it in our district. So we're putting it out that and we're lucky, we're fortunate enough to have staff members here that can train people in it. So why are we not being trained in it? So we're going to train our staff in that, and it's just another way for them to progress monitor our students, another data point for us. So again, we're looking at that data to say, well, this kid's in 4th grade and they're at a 2nd grade reading level. What can we do? What programs can we put in place to help support these kids, so we're not having kids in 8th grade that are reading at a 2nd grade level, right? How can we get them caught up? How can we offer them supports? So we're putting those things in place through that. But how do we get out of this? So
I have a quick question before you continue on.
yes,
So the Hall School was identified in 2023.
yes.
What happens if we get to 2026 and we're still not?
So, great question. So what happens is, the 2026 school year is really, it's an end and a beginning, right? So what happens is, at 2026, they're reassessing everybody. So now we have 2 criteria that we have to meet, right? So one of them is, if you look at the chart, right? So you have to demonstrate improvement for the subgroup in twice of each indicator, right? So if you look, the subgroup demonstrated improvement from the 2023 scores twice. So just looking at the 2023 scores, we did it twice in the equity and the growth. Now the reason why we don't have to do the last category is that would be our ESLO students, and we don't have enough to make that category. So we don't have to worry about that category. But we've met it twice in the growth and in the equity, but in the achievement, we haven't. So now what we need to do is we need to beat our 1.11 for achievement at this year, right? So once more. So we beat it in 2025, we need to beat it again. If we beat it again, then we're out.
Okay.
However, 2026 new indicators come out. So we would have to beat those indicators, or we go back into it, or we could become a CSI school depending upon what our, so that's what happens. So every 3 years, you're reassessed, and then you could cut out, or you can go back in. I think Sandra had a question for me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sandra, go ahead.
No, that's all right. So the 1.34 and 25, that went up, but it still didn't hit the 1.86, so
Right.
we would still be
No,
not
so
okay,
what,
right?
so there's 2 ways to get out of it. So the
Okay.
first way is to demonstrate improvement from the subgroup of 2023. So if you look above the where it says statewide cut scores, that's your subgroup for 2023.
Okay.
So it's our scores. So basically we have to beat our own scores,
Oh, okay.
all right?
Show
So
growth.
I'm sorry?
Show growth.
Yes, so we have to beat our own scores by showing growth in those areas. So twice in each indicator. So if you look at the subgroup for the 2023 where it says students with disabilities, it says 1.11,
Yeah.
then 2845, 3206. All right, so we have to beat those scores. So in 2024, we did for growth and we did for equity. In 2025, we did for all 3.
Okay.
So we did twice in equity, twice in growth, Now we need one more in achievement to get off this list. That's one way for us to get off, right? But then we get reassessed again. So whatever the new cut scores are, we have to beat those as well, right? The second way that we can get off is our subgroup must exceed the 2023 statewide cut scores, right?
Oh,
So
okay, that's the ones.
yes, so that's the
Okay,
one
I thought
below.
that was the line we had to hit. Okay.
Yes, so the subgroup so our subgroup has exceeded the 2023 statewide cut scores for growth and equity, but not for achievement. All right, so we would have to, our subgroup would have to beat that for achievement. So if we got a 186, we would get off.
Okay.
Either way, because we have to beat the 1.11, right? So we have to we have to show growth.
Okay.
Since they assess every 3 years, so do those cut scores change? So once you hit the plateau, do they change a higher?
Every
cut
3
score?
years, they're gonna change. We won't know. What they do is it's based on the state testing. The cut scores may change based on that. So these scores come from our state testing.
Sure.
I have one more follow-up.
Yeah.
I love the idea of going to the mentors and the teachers going to the other schools and things. What is that cost to us for them having mentors down there? Is that gonna be
It wouldn't cost
fee?
us anything because I have a great relationship with the person in Londonderry.
Okay.
So they're more than happy to
It's
support
just
and help us.
mileage, essentially. Okay.
No, it wouldn't cost us
Substitutes.
mileage, because what would happen is I would
Substitute
bring them.
Okay.
So, and I don't, it's, cause I like to see what's going on, so that way if they have questions, I'm able to offer support. I know Aaron's gonna be going down with me because he does curriculum stuff, so he will be going down as well, so that way he can offer supports.
Wonderful.
The support that he sees.
Wonderful.
You know, we also, we have another thing that we're going to Oyster River, that their kindergarten program is really good with play-based learning.
Yep.
And so what Aaron and I are gonna be going to visit them to take a look at their play-based learning, to see how they do their stuff there. And then if we say, well, this is really great, then we'd like to bring our kindergarten teachers to come take a look at it and say, you know, what do you guys think of these programs? Because we're
nice.
required by law to be doing play-based learning.
Oh.
So we need to make sure.
When was that put in effect on it?
Probably
You don't wanna
about-
know that answer.
Just so we're all
Don't
clear.
ask.
Then what I did is I put together, this is the proposed budget, and I just broke it down, because I know that sometimes when people get this whole packet, it's very, you know, they look at it and they're like, what does it mean? Just tell me what the end is. So what I did is I just broke it down per area, like regular education, special education, and I just went through each area, which, and you know, I know with the board, I don't necessarily, unless you want me to go through each one, but, cause we've done this so many times, but this way, it's right there for everybody to see. And then made it a little bit cleaner at the end, where it shows, this is what the actual was for 25, this is what the adopted budget was for 26, this is what the proposed budget is for 27, this is what the difference is, and this is the percentage, right? And then talking about the grant services and food services, and then doing an overall, what our budget is, what our overall adjusted budget was for the 26 fiscal year, 27 fiscal year, the difference, and then what our percentage is. So our percentage is 6.95. That, you probably have quite a few, Sandra, you probably have to flip to that page. And then what I did at the bottom is there's the link to the full budget. So someone can click on that link and get this full budget if they wanted to look at it and dive a little bit deeper into it and ask questions. Then we have the projected revenue that for the 27 school year. Now, keep in mind, some of that can change, right? We already talked about adequacy. Now, one of the things that I want you to notice is almost to the end, we put in Medicaid. Now, we're hoping that we're gonna have more money in Medicaid than the $2,000.
Yeah.
Because we are actually billing for Medicaid this year.
As we should.
So, yeah, and so billing for Medicaid, basically what that means is any student that receives Medicare, right? It's a student, that they get Medicaid or billable on their insurance, right?
Yes,
Okay.
and the service is medically necessary in school.
Yes,
Two
so
things.
it's in their IEP. So to give you an example, transportation, so we have a specialized, special ed bus that brings a child from their home to school. It's not the regular bus, it's a specialized bus. They need it, it's in their IEP. We could potentially get money back for that. And so we are going to be billing for all of those services. So our goal is to make more than that, but we wanted to put something in. I think, did we already reach the 2,000 mark?
We
We're
got
close.
2,000.
Yeah, so we've already got 2,000 already,
Yeah.
and we haven't, we will
Just
do
since-
our
since-
major billing at the end for transportation, so that's gonna be more of a one lump sum, but we'll keep you posted with that as we start to see. So, when we do our fiscal year 28, you may see a difference in that line based upon what we did this year.
Fantastic.
That's great. Go ahead, Sandra.
Do we know when we stopped billing for Medicaid?
We did not bill last year at all, and that was my first year here per
Or the
the,
year before.
per the direction of the business manager. So we've received 2,000 so far, and that was just since October 1st.
Right, but I meant in prior years. I mean, because when I worked, we've always billed for Medicaid. That has always been a thing.
Mm-hmm.
The last, Michelle just said, so 2 years, at least 2 years, they haven't done that. And we monitor this, right, so we know, like, I know that Carol has been training the staff on how to put in for this, because there's certain criteria that you have to meet, right, so one of the things was, I mean, some things really simple. Everyone that is doing billing, we have to have on file their high school diploma. Do you know how many high school diplomas we did not have?
Oh, I'm sure, probably all of them.
A lot, right? And so they had to do a lot of running around, right? And we had some teachers, some of our parents like, how am I gonna get like me, how would I get my high school diploma? I graduated from high school a long time ago. Fortunately my high school's still around, that I could probably go, but it'd be archived, right? And so, but they were able to get us that, or college stuff, so they were able to get us that. And then they went through the training on this is what it takes to bill, and then somebody has to sign off on it, and then Carol reviews them. So there's a lot that goes into it. I believe, and Michelle can correct me if I'm wrong, that it was not done correctly last year, and the district got penalized for it
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
And who is that? The business administrator or the special ed director?
I don't know who did it. I know that I used to see checks and electronic deposits like $90,000 a year, and then all of a sudden they stopped.
If I can just,
We got
I can answer that question for you.
$1,000.
Your superintendent, because your superintendent is in charge of everybody, and so it would be your superintendent
I know.
that should be meeting with the people and getting that information. So
Right. But that is
so
a
ultimately-
title under somebody else. Yes,
Yes.
you overall see all of it, and I appreciate that answer. But no, you are not the one that does the billing. for it.
right, no, I wouldn't do the billing for it, but I think that
Somebody
with the
else's
checks and balances, right, you have to have
Yeah.
checks and balances.
Yes,
and
you
so
do.
that's what we do.
For sure.
Carol?
When I found out that we were fined last year for 2 years prior to that, I researched what the majority of the public school systems in New Hampshire use for a Medicaid company, okay? And vetted them. And I will say that the company we were using at the time was not what the majority of the school systems were using. So the company that I vetted that we now have, all those checks and balances are in place. And I'll give you a perfect example. We have a physical therapist. She goes by Chrissy. That's her first name, that's her email, everything. Well, come to find out, her legal first name is Christina, but it's spelled a little differently. So if you bill under Chrissy, and then what her last name is, and we get reimbursed, we could be made to pay that back.
Yeah.
So it's all those checks and balances in addition to an up-to-date Medicaid number that all the related service providers need to have, additional training for the paraprofessionals if they didn't have a college degree, as Donna mentioned, a high school diploma. So I am thrilled, one, that Donna trusted me enough to go with this other company, because they are amazing. So
Which one is it?
we go with Relay now.
Relay. Because what did we have before? MSB?
I did
or-
not want to say that publicly, but yes.
You
I have
did
to
that.
answer your question, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, when I did the
Yeah.
accounts payable and receivable here, that is the one that we had, that we used. That is something.
And again, I was not here then, so I
Yeah.
can't,
Absolutely, no, I know
But-
they got a few different ones.
but after vetting multiple companies, I chose Relay, and you know, did the presentation for Donna and she agreed.
Yep,
So we're a relay company now,
yep. As long as we're
relay district, I should say.
putting in for it, that'll be good.
So now, I wanna get into the warrant articles, and I think that a dual purpose for the warrant articles. So I have, the warrant articles for you, so that way if you need them, you can write on them. That way they're right there, because I think that one of the things for the 31st would be who is speaking on what warrant article, right? And so, this way we can have that discussion as we're going through these warrant articles on who would like to take the realm on which one of the articles. Now, if I'm correct, your moderator does the election of officers, correct? Does anybody, or do you guys have, somebody have to say that?
No, we don't say it.
Okay. Now, do you so again, right, you guys may do it different. When it comes to the, warrant articles, do one of you have to get up and read the warrant article?
No.
And-
No.
No, the moderator does.
So the moderator reads it, but somebody speaks on it, like this is why we should do?
So typically
We
we
read the
did,
narrative, right?
the chair would, move the article, and then the vice chair, the last few years anyways, seconds it, and then whoever's listed, whoever wants to read that article, or the comments underneath, we always had the comments ready, on the article, would read it, and then it would be done.
Okay, when you say comments, can you explain to me?
So let's say the bleachers, underneath the bleacher one, so move the article second, and then let's.
The person who speaks on it seconds it.
Not typical,
Yes.
we changed it around a few times, didn't we?
Yeah.
I feel like that works. Yeah. Then we don't have any
So,
questions.
yeah, it'd be like a quick, couple sentences explaining, what it's for.
Okay,
So for bleachers, it'd
that's all.
say, we're looking to upgrade the bleachers because they are unsafe.
40 years old.
Yeah, 40,
Okay.
blah, blah, blah.
Safety issues, all that stuff. And we do that for each article, very short.
Yeah.
and these are comments that I would add onto there, and then you guys would just read them?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
That's a relief.
Yeah.
As long as you're aware of what you're talking about in the
No.
moment, because we showed up last year
No,
and
we
I thought I
haven't.
had my comment right and it wasn't.
so,
And the
so
other
if
thing we
you,
do need is what's in the trust fund at the time.
Yes.
Yeah, they'll wanna know
For
that.
each-
Last year, I had to get all that
Yeah.
together.
so
for-
you need to bring you need to know, need the trust fund?
Yeah.
Amounts, yeah.
Balance,
Trust fund
yeah.
balance for each warrant.
Okay,
Yes.
I will only have the balance as of 12/31.
It would be as of, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Then we can tell them.
So just put as of
For each
12/31.
each warrant.
What?
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah, but it's ours.
it's ours, so, I mean,
Okay.
we like to have it
I can give you
instead of
as
asking the
of
question.
12/31.
Would you like that underneath the comments? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What I'll do is when I do that, whoever you guys decide is going to speak on it, I will get that out to you way in advance. Hopefully, what is today, Tuesday, Wednesday? So hopefully by the end of this week, that way you can look at it, and if there's any comments that you think, oh, should I add this, or that way you guys will have it, so you'll know, so it's not like you get it the day of and you have to read it to see what you have to say.
Perfect.
Okay. So the election of, our first warrant article would be election of officers. So what we're looking for is a 1-year moderator, school district clerk 1 year, school district treasurer 1 year, and school board member for 3 years. Then moving on to warrant article 2, that would be our operating budget. So I don't know if there's somebody that, goes onto this, so why are you saying no? Oh, I saw you, I thought you were going like this, and I was like, what?
No, I'm cold.
I'm like, did I do something? So this has the updated, because remember at our, budget committee meeting, we voted to add in the additional 300,000.
Yeah.
That has the updated, right now, what everybody has voted on, amount in there, and it makes the tax impact, $4.77 with the default tax impact, proposed $4.69. And then you can see on the bottom, it says the recommended votes.
Is this one just not updated then? Cause this one doesn't say the 477, it says 469.
Says what?
Oh, it should be.
469.
Yeah, this should say.
Where are you seeing that?
On
Right
the
here.
I'll have
operating
to-
budget for the default
I'll have
tax
to have,
impact?
I thought Asia said she updated them. I will, not throw her under the
This
bus,
is wrong.
as I did.
Sorry,
Sorry, Angel.
It was the wrong one, I grabbed the wrong one.
It was me, it was
It's
on
the
me,
wrong
I just
copy.
printed it, so I probably printed it from the wrong one. So the ones that are on the board or in your packets are the right ones.
Yep.
So I will, make the notes on here.
Well, that's the same as this then, the estimated tax impact. I just didn't see where you were saying.
because this
4.6.
Estimated
Oh,
tax-
the left.
Yeah,
Left
this
at
one says
460,
464,
Got
and it
it.
should say 477.
yep. Crossed off the one.
Yes, so,
Goes the camera.
We don't speak on this, only like, if people have questions,
Yep.
they'll say something, but
okay,
that's it.
so there's
So
no.
we don't need to have, write someone's
No.
name down.
Yep.
Okay.
So you do have to have the recommended by the budget committee members.
Yeah, it's on, if you look up here, it is up there.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I grabbed the wrong ones, I apologize, I'll fix that.
It will be in the printed out versions, right? Because that's what you guys signed.
Yes,
Yes.
it's
You
in
guys
there.
signed the right ones.
The, Article 3 is the area, it says, it talks about the area agreement. And so this is the one that we're looking to form a withdrawal study committee. And so what I've done is, I've linked the area agreement to this. And I've also put it on our our webpage. So anybody that wants to see the area agreement, it's right on our website, as well as it's linked here, so that's where they can see. So currently, our area agreement states that only a percentage of our students can go to any other school besides the Rochester School District, any of our high school students. Currently, how it works is we have that number already out, which means potentially for the next 2 to 3 years, none of our other students have the ability to go to any other school except for Rochester. So that means there's no lottery probably for the next 2 to 3 years, because we have to have seniors graduate in order for that to happen, and the kids that are there not have siblings that are coming up through the ranks here. So that's currently what we're trying to get out of, so that way we have more of a choice here. Also in the area agreement, if we have a student that has a manifestation hardship, that it actually has to be approved by both districts.
Right.
Rochester has to approve it as well.
Oh, to come out of?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, oops, I just passed it. All right, so, does anybody need to speak on that, or just,
I don't
If they
think
do,
so.
it'll probably be you.
Yeah, I mean, do we speak
I don't
on?
think so.
I don't think so.
I think if they had questions, that would
It's
be the
usually
only
the dollar
thing.
ones that we
Yeah.
speak on.
okay.
Yeah.
And if anybody has any questions, I know that they can, vote for me to be able to talk on the area agreement, I don't mind if I need to.
No, they'll ask questions.
Yeah.
Well, actually, last year we didn't really have that many people. Like the,
We'll have one.
Yeah.
no, I don't, no, we won't.
We'll have two.
There we go.
Sorry.
That, maybe the budget committee would have questions, so that's fine.
Right. The
Yeah.
Article 4 is the gym floor, and that it shows the tax impact of the, .035. And then again, it's updated with all that information. I'll get these to you, the clean version once once we have them.
They're not gonna vote on it? Bring them forward?
No, we moved, we already, didn't we
They've
already
already
voted
You have
on
to bring
all
it
the.
forward at deliberative session.
Yeah.
Somebody makes a
No,
motion.
we just talked about that.
We
I
just
know,
talked
but
about
it's,
that.
you're not giving me any people.
We haven't
We
picked
haven't gotten
anyone
anybody
yet.
We haven't
We
gotten
haven't
anything
decided
yet.
what we're gonna do yet.
But I
Where
thought,
are we on
I
Article
think
4?
that, okay, so, I thought that it was only going to be, one of you was gonna move it forward,
Mhm.
and then, so, Robert was gonna move it forward, Bob was gonna second it, and so far, I don't think there was anybody talking on anything.
And then
Not yet.
we used to split it all up through the board, so.
Yeah.
So, like, the
everybody-
speaking parts,
That's
Right,
That's what
like
he's
the
saying.
discussion
That's what I'm
parts.
saying.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten there yet.
So-
This is
so
the
far-
first money.
Who's
one.
gonna talk about
Okay.
the gym floor?
Yeah,
This is
so-
the very
Okay.
first money.
So
No.
far, 1, 2, and 3,
Outta here.
we have no one.
Who's talking about the gym floor?
So 4 is gonna be Mary.
Article 4 will be Mary.
Who's that? All right.
So first will be, one will move it forward, one will second it, and Mary will speak on it.
And who's gonna second it?
It's always gonna be Robert and then Bob.
Chair vice chair.
Yep.
Were you
chair and
That's
vice chair?
Which ones?
The what?
It'll be the
They're doing
chair.
them all.
Yeah.
But either or.
No, the chair will move the
I'm gonna
article.
move every
Oh, and
article.
then
And
you'll
I'll-
say,
and I'll
Yes.
everybody else is.
For all of them.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
We're to keep it consistent.
Yeah,
The cold is getting to all of us. It's freezing
The
our
new
brains.
the new bleachers,
I'll
which
do
would be
that one.
Article 5. Who did?
I'll do that one.
Okay.
That's Robert, so.
Oh, that'll be you and Bob.
I'll do 6.
6, okay.
So
You
6.
will?
Whoop.
Bob?
So 6 is classroom renovations.
Yep.
Yep.
So that'll be.
That's also the purchase of chairs and desks.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
few-
I'll make the
Yeah,
notes.
it's all included.
Notes.
Yeah, I'll make
Yeah.
the notes
Great.
when I do that.
Yeah.
Screw it up like I did last year.
And then
Taylor Way.
Article 7 is the paving of Taylor Way.
Anybody? Any takers?
I'll do it.
Heather?
Who? Heather.
And who's gonna second?
Same as always.
It'll be chair, vice chair. Oh, every article.
Every article.
She's gonna be bringing up either
No,
you or
no.
She's just gonna speak
no,
on
no.
it.
I'm just
The
gonna
way we did it
speak
last
on
year,
it.
Priscilla, the year
Yeah.
before.
So I'm gonna move every article, Bob's gonna second every article, and then we have different board member that's just gonna
He's
give the
gonna speak on it.
explanation,
Okay.
right?
So I'm speaking on paving.
Perfect.
I know exactly what you're talking about, Priscilla,
Right.
because we
I've
did
only
it
done this
different before.
25 years
ago.
I know, no,
So
just
what do I know?
recently, so
Okay.
go on.
Article 8,
Article
do
8,
it.
special education.
I'll do it.
okay,
Then Article 9 is a technology trust fund.
I'd like to do that.
Heather?
Then Article 10 is the new truck. I
It's
prob-
Andrea.
Andrea?
I was gonna do the gym floor, Mary wants it.
No, you do it, if I have one, I'll do, yeah.
I have one now too, I have a truck.
Oh, okay.
Article
Well, we can
11.
both,
Article 11,
we all talk on it.
I'll do 11.
What's up?
Maintenance.
What did I miss? Oh, yes,
Article
contingency.
12,
Our
And
lawyer,
then-
that's our lawyer.
yeah.
That's
So I want to talk a little bit about Article 12. So now, am I up? Yeah. So it's 194-D6 was what was proposed and approved for each school district shall establish a line item in their operating budget on an annual basis reflecting estimated expenditures for an open enrollment tuition and offsetting revenue estimates for sending school districts. So what open enrollment is open enrollment designates that any school can send their child to any school and the district is liable to pay 80% of it, right? So what does that mean for us? Well, not a lot of good things, but, so here's some consideration, and this is why we have this, right? So we would like to see that this is approved, that 0% of our students can go outside of our district, but we can accept 5% of our total population, all right? And so what that means is that would be revenue for us and no expenditures for us, right? So the most crucial takeaway from this recent legal development is that sending districts must pay tuition for a resident pupil who attends an open enrollment school in another district, right? So we would have to pay not less than 80% of a student's tuition if they chose to go to another school and this does not pass. So an example would be, I'm going to take Governor Wentworth because that was the highest one. So right now, in 24-25, it was $27,687.18 for a student to go to Governor Wentworth. If we had one student that decided they wanted to go to Governor Wentworth and we were an open enrollment school, we would have to pay $22,149.74 per student. That's 80% of the cost. Our cost for the 24-25 school year to do our student was $20,641.68. So the taxpayers would have to pay $1,508.06 more to have a student go somewhere else. Right, so you can see where that would hit us hard, right? So we would be paying more money. That's why we're asking the town to adopt this, leaving it so that way we have 0 kids going out, 5% coming in. That's like putting a cap on it. If we didn't put the cap on it, then it would be almost like a free-for-all. Anybody could just go anywhere and we would not know. So,
Or it could be confusing.
could you imagine what that would do for our budget?
Yeah, go ahead, Mary.
A lot of districts are doing this, we're not,
Right.
just every single school district is
Yep.
doing this,
Well-
because that's how, you don't know where a child is going to
So-
decide to go.
So what's happening is there's some districts that are adopting basically this verbiage kind of and setting their own percentages.
Yep.
Right? There's some districts that are saying, I'm gonna wait a year. There's very few districts that are saying, I'm gonna wait a year.
Right.
Because if they wait a year and it's passed, they could all of a sudden have so many of their kids leave and go to other districts, and it's gonna cause havoc on their budget, because you don't know who's gonna leave, right? And then, but most districts are either going with this or waiting a year, is what most of them are
Yeah.
doing. So yeah, so that's the scary thing. Receiving districts, so we said 5%, so what would happen is that we would take in 5% of our total enrollment, and then that district would be required to pay us at least 80% of what our cost is. So the preference would be resident pupils, military personnel, before we would go to outside. Yes.
Is there a balance owed over that 80%, or is that rate set? So I hear what you're saying, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a sec. So we could have up to 5% kids come in that we're paying.
We're not paying anything, they're paying
No,
us.
they're paying us, but if it cost us $20,000 to educate our student, they're not paying $20,000 to educate, we're not gonna pay $20,000, they're, you know.
Yep.
Correct,
So,
yes.
that's not beneficial to us either.
Well, it depends upon like if we look at our classroom makeup, so now what we do, right, so once this comes into play, if it passes, then our policy committee would put together a policy, which basically a lot of our districts already have sitting on the side of the table waiting, hoping that it passes, that will put guidelines. So it could be, like some districts are saying, we're only gonna take, 3 first graders and 2 second graders, because we have really small class sizes. And so they can do that because it's cost effective, because we're not having to add another teacher. We're not having to, add more materials, because we have so many, so we look at what's cost effective. Now, remember, it says that we can take 5%, doesn't mean we have to.
Right.
And 5% would be what, like 5 students anyways, cause for our 10% to go to Kingswood or somewhere else, isn't there only like 10 or 11 spots, so would it,
Well,
for
the
us,
5% would be our
Like-
population to come to us, so yeah,
Right.
so it would be, it would be low, our numbers
Yeah.
would be low.
Yeah, and do they pay the 80% of our 20,000?
Yes.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
So
But
there's a
the-
small difference. but-
Yeah.
Yeah, but the other piece that goes along to that is, the parent doesn't have to pay the second part. So usually, because a lot of times you could say, okay, we'll pay 80, you pay 20. They don't have to do that, it's 80%. However, transportation is not included. So the parent would have to provide their own transportation. The district would be liable for transportation.
Gotcha. Okay.
But, Shini, you could say, like, only kids that are in 6th grade, or only kids that are in 7th grade. So you can put a cap on what grade, or how many in that grade, or anything that you want to do. Or we could just say, we can't take any this year, and we don't take any this year.
So the state is giving free rein for us to decide how that works.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not gonna have a parent that's gonna go to the state and have the state come in and say, well, hey, listen, you say this, well, you can't put these sort of guardrails up.
Well, so at our last superintendent meeting, we focused a lot on this. So basically what has happened is they said, we're kind of waiting for one district to get sued over this to see what happens.
Yeah,
Seems
cause that's
about
what
right.
I see
Right,
happening.
because you never know
Yeah,
what
To
Supreme
be
Court is
honest,
gonna
like,
decide.
that's what I see happening,
But
is
what
that
But what they say is if your governing body says this is what it needs to be, then it's your governing body that has the right to make those decisions, right? So by going against this, then they're saying they don't think they would. They're gonna say, here's the majority of your people voted, or X amount of people voted, this passed. This means this is what your town wants.
Yep. Yeah, but the town doesn't say 3 kindergartners and.
No,
you know,
that-
It says 5% of
But,
the
but they
population.
could, and I will tell you
Right.
how. When we're talking about making a policy for it, you know, or in a procedure, they could come to a meeting and say, you know, what does it look like? How does it, and then make comments to the board, and the board could decide. They could have conversations with me, and we could have those conversations
Okay.
about it, so.
Okay, excellent.
Yes, and then again, there's no transportation, cost for either district in this.
Okay.
Now, why we want this, right, so the limits, and I did put a little blurb down at the bottom that kinda talks about it, but this limits Wakefield from moving forward this warrant article, right? Why we want this warrant article to move forward is because it preserves enrollment and budget stability for us, right? It protects us against tuition agreement, maintaining our programs, ensuring that our decisions about our enrollment stay within our district. So our local tax money is staying in our town, right? So that's why this is so important for people to really look at this and do their own research on it to see why this is not beneficial or why this is beneficial to the families here in the community here in Wakefield.
Couldn't this also be a way to circumvent our area agreement?
No,
No,
area agreements trump it.
Area agreement trumpet,
Mhm.
okay, that's, because, you know, you say, well, we may not have room for anybody to send a kid to another district for the next 2 to 3 years, which, once that gets out, that's gonna be problematic for a lot of parents in town. And then you have an open enrollment, well, now people may look at it like, well, here's my,
Well, this is-
here's my opportunity.
Well, we're looking at not doing an open enrollment. We don't
No, I
wanna be an open
understand
enrollment.
that, but if we're coming in and saying, we're gonna have 2 to 3 years, so we don't even know if we're gonna be able to, so nobody can go anywhere. Parents could look at it and say, well, then I want open enrollment, because then I have the option to
Right,
say,
but-
I wanna send my kid here under this
Right,
statute,
but
I can.
but again, any type of area agreement, tuition agreements, all trump this. So those are legal documents that trump this warrant article, so it
Okay.
wouldn't change it. That's why we're looking at trying to change our area agreement, so that way it allows for more choice for our families.
Perfect.
And anyone that has any questions, you know, they can reach out to me, and I would be more than happy to, you know, have conversations with them about the impact and what it would look like. Because we would know, because again, right, we're building our budget right now for next year. If we didn't do this, and then all of a sudden next year, we had 20 kids decide to leave, what does that do to our budget? What does that do to our current students, right? Because if 20 kids leave, say from first grade, well, we don't need a first grade teacher anymore, then we, you know, or whatever it may be, then that's gonna cause some issues in the services that we provide our kids that do stay.
Yeah, complicated,
Yeah.
really, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing that I'm concerned about is that we have, like, and it's just, for me, it's a concern because if this doesn't move forward, then we become an open enrollment school, and then we have a parent that says, well, no, we say we have you know, an agreement in place, and then they say, well, there's a state statute that says otherwise now that was passed, and then they take that to the state level, you know, well, and we've got attorney's fees again, like, and we're in this battle that we're always in, you know, with things that go up to say, what does that look like? I think what's the optics around that, so that, you know, we're prepared to, you know, do what we need to do.
Yeah, well, I know that some of the, some superintendents, they've already have an attorney on retainer that is going to be handling anything that comes their way for this.
Okay.
So, they've been talking a lot at our meetings about how to handle certain things, and we did talk about area agreements and tuition agreements, because a lot of districts have them. And according to what their attorneys are saying, they're saying, no, this would not impact it, should not
Perfect.
impact it, so. But then they say again, right, you go to the state, who knows
Yeah,
what they're
exactly.
going to decide, right? So, we know that firsthand, right, so. Then this right here, I just wanted to show a rate impact, so that way they can see that our health insurance for fiscal year increased to 28.5%. Our dental rates increased to 4.4%. And then our New Hampshire State Retirement, that is a 2-year rate, so that stayed the same. Then here again, this is the kind of, I went over this before, but it's just putting it all on one page. 6.95% or 4.77 per thousand for the proposed budget, or 4.69 per thousand for the default budget. And this does not include warrant articles. And then our deliberative session, because we know that we have our deliberative session on Saturday, the 31st. The snow date is on February 7th, it's at the town hall. They do the town articles before school, so the town will go first, so the town starts at 9, we go immediately after that.
So that's a week from Saturday, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
It's
Then-
really this year,
Yeah.
usually it's the Saturday after the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And then this one talks about the first session, what it's for. And then there's another link down the bottom for the budget and the reports. So I don't know if any of you had I don't know if this will work if I click it, had the chance to go onto our website, and it doesn't look like it's sharing this. I just said share this tab instead, but. Yeah, so this right here, what we did is we built the website to have, so if you look at the budgets, there's our fiscal year budgets. We have all of our fiscal year budgets on there, so they can click on that. There's a budget calendar on there. Then our annual reports are to the side. The budget presentation that I just went over is there as well. But when you click on the budget for this year, that will bring up, and of course, it did do it. It brings up all of the stuff that you see, and I believe those warrant articles are incorrect. I will get those fixed tomorrow. But there's all this stuff there, so.
Awesome.
So when will we get a copy of the warrant articles and trust fund amounts and stuff like that? Because we're not gonna have another meeting.
You're talking about with the verbiage and stuff on it?
Yeah.
I'll do that. I'll work on that and have it to you guys by the end of this week.
Just
Yes, Indra.
also for the floor one, can you please list out what the repairs totals were? I know we had it before at the last session,
For the
but
floor one?
for the floor,
Yeah.
the
Mary's.
total of
The
the
gym
repairs.
floor, yeah,
Yes.
and how many times it,
And the cost of them, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the total cost for repairs, maybe if we can have the total of what the floor was before, in case we get those questions as well. I was also hoping that, the technology 5-year plan that we got, that maybe somebody could send that to the budget committee ahead of time. I don't know if you already did that.
No, because I sent it to the board, because the board needs to move it forward before I send it to budget committee. And
Okay, I
that's
just
on
wanna make
tonight's
sure that
agenda.
they're
Yeah.
Yeah,
fully
that's
aware,
on-
like, that would have
yeah.
been good information to have for the last meeting that we had, because they always ask those
yeah,
specific
we
questions, you
mentioned
know.
that.
Well, that was, and that
Yeah.
was just made. I
Yeah.
mean, I think Mary had said, do we have one? And that's when we, Jeff, I was talking with Jeff and I said, we need to get a budget. So Jeff just made that, like in the last, 2 weeks maybe?
Oh, I
3
thought
weeks?
he had that together
No.
anyways, cause I'm pretty sure we've been talking about the 5-year plan for a little bit now, so.
Or a
It's-
plan, a
it's-
tech
Well, I thought
plan.
he
So
said
the-
that one.
The
Yeah.
technology committee had been talking about it, but every time traction starts, there's turnover in the position. So that unfortunately would, hopefully with Jeff being here now.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, it's just, if we're gonna,
We
if
need
we're
to have
looking
all
to
the
ask
answers for the questions that I asked.
for money, if we, want the money
Yep.
to build that fund back up, we need to
Sure.
let the town know what we're spending the money on. I
Yeah.
mean, it's common sense, it's not,
Nope, absolutely.
it's common sense information.
Yeah.
If you want the kids to do well, give them the technology they need to succeed.
Okay.
Thanks,
That's
Noah.
awesome.
I have a
Thank you
quick
so much.
question.
Yep.
Do we, speaking of the technology and the 5-year plan, do we off the top of our heads know how much is in the tech trust fund now?
It was like 70
Okay.
something.
I think they said
Thank you.
Change.
Just a
At
ballpark.
one point, it was like 140,
Yeah.
Okay, just a ballpark.
and then they said, buy some laptops. So
Yes,
that's what we
yes.
went to
And
fix.
I-
and a server.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I'll make sure to put everything on the warrant. I'll just get that all set and sent to you guys.
Got it?
Okay, so if we move on next, we have public comment. 15. Anything from you, sir?
I hope for a better turnout, a donor session, so.
Yes.
Us too.
We had one.
Us too. Okay, so let's move on to consent agenda. Can I get a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting minutes.
I make a motion to approve Wakefield School Board non-public minutes of 1/6/26 with any corrections.
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve Wakefield School Board public minutes of 1/6/26 with any amendments.
I'll second that.
Oh my goodness.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the meeting, Wakefield School Board public minutes of 1/13/26 with any amendments.
I will second that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Perfect. Let's go ahead and get on to new business. We have the technology 5-year plan. Okay, so, go ahead, Donna.
So Jeff had put together, at first he sent what he sent to the board, well, I sent the board to him. He sent to me and I sent to the board, the technology kind of 5-year plan, but it didn't have all the cost in it. And so what he did is he pulled it together and did all the cost that it would cost and broke it down over the 5 years. So I'm looking for the board to approve this. Now, obviously, we know that if we don't have the money, it's not like we can pull the money out of the air and do these things, but we would look at doing the things that are most important, that need to get done right away. But this at least gives us a tool to work with.
Sorry. Now the 5-year plan, which I appreciate very much. Is it separated, not separated, but is some of the items going to be put in the operating budget on a yearly basis, like anything? Or is this all these components going to be purchased through a warrant article?
So
Like the funds?
So I think for this year, it would be warrant article, right, because there wasn't any money in the budget for it.
Right.
Next year, we're hoping that we have a warrant article, but we also will look at, if there's, at the end of the year, we would come to the board and say, we have XYZ amount of money, can we use it to do, certain things with it? But I think for the most part, Jeff has been really looking for grants to help offset the cost.
Yeah.
So it would eventually be grants, warrant article, and potentially budget. But right now, we haven't been putting the money in the budget. It's been in a warrant article.
Robert, I have a question.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Sandra.
The view boards, are those like the big,
Yes.
so, okay, so those, so, I mean, don't the teachers still have all those other ones in their classrooms, what were they, the whiteboards or, the interactive? Yeah.
No, I think a lot of, they have this.
Okay.
I don't know if there may be one teacher that may have that other board still in a room, but I don't know if it's still in
Really?
there.
Just like one or two.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Okay, cause they didn't really use those other ones, well, I guess you wouldn't know, I'm sorry.
What?
But I didn't know if they really used those before, remember the other big white
Yeah, well,
ones that
they
we had
did.
and?
I don't
They're
understand
definitely-
why they got new ones.
They're definitely using these, cause I see
Okay.
them using them, so they're
Yeah.
definitely using them. And I know that we had one teacher that was using that other board and, came in and had this and went, but now she uses it all the time, so.
The whiteboards you're talking about with the Promethean boards.
Yes.
Yeah, like the,
Outdated technology, everything that those Promethean boards can do, these things can do 3 times better and faster.
okay,
They weren't that old though.
yeah, I didn't think
They're
that they
very
were.
expensive.
Yeah, that was my
We
concern.
probably got on the train late, I might be lying.
Yeah,
Oh.
at 2,500 a piece for these.
Yes, Mary.
Oh, just to, quick with this, on page 39 in the packet, under the software licensing,
Mhm.
what is, like the managers, has Chromebook management, Windows management, what is that?
So, I am not sure, cause I am not a, tech type person, and if I was to guess, could be wrong, so I'm not sure, but I can.
Okay, no, I just
can
didn't
find
know.
out.
I mean, when I didn't know if we had to pay out for something different.
Well,
Wouldn't
you
that be-
always, you have to pay for all your licenses.
No, I
So
understand that,
What
but-
this maybe is almost like an administrator's license for
I
them to
don't
be able to
know.
manage
I
Windows.
don't know.
Right.
That's why I'm
what I'm saying,
asking.
like that's
But
like
I would like
a lot
to
of
know.
times- Yeah, that's what that is. That's what that can be.
Can be.
I can find out though and send something.
Okay, I don't know.
Heather?
I just have a comment. In the plan that you sent us originally, there was this nice first page that sort of said purpose, guiding principles, and then like the life cycle targets. That feels like helpful information to have
So,
in, like, it's not in
So
this.
combine it.
Yes, combine
Okay.
it. Because obviously the numbers are great, we
Yes.
wanna know how much it costs.
Right.
But I liked this intro
Right, the
section.
That-
4 to 5 years or, yeah.
Has always been included with the plan too, so people, yeah.
And Donna, another thing too that I noticed was when you're talking about networking hardware, there's a breakdown on 26. In 27, but 28 is the same as year 2 in a total. I think part of this would be understanding like what the current inventory is of these things and what's being replaced, so that can be like, okay, well, we have X now minus this, which is X minus that.
yeah,
so that-
I know they have an inventory. It
yeah,
does do
so like as a
inventory.
rundown, because I'm looking at it going, yeah, I know that there's a lot of hardware that needs to be replaced. I know there's a lot of outdated stuff lying around, but what does that mean?
So
when
you want him
say-
to add add the inventory list?
Inventory at the beginning, but also like networking hardware, for $8,300, it's just the same as year 2. So, does that mean, 48 ports, we're doing one more switch? Is there, 48 port switches, we have 4 of them we're replacing, in 26. 27, there's 1, 28, there's one, like, what's the
So
total
instead of
inventory
saying
of each
same
one?
as, so spell it out, what it
Yeah,
is.
spell it out.
Okay.
And more like, I would use Excel. Like an Excel, like a breakdown to show these numbers, this is what's being replaced, so that by this time it's all new.
Okay.
And these, the previous years, 2, 3, 4, 5, those prices could change though too.
Yeah.
I mean, switching to 2026 is gonna be different than 2029.
Well, that's true. Like maybe build in an escalator.
Yep.
But, no,
Yep, Mary, go ahead.
but like with the plan, this is just, is a glimpse of, inventory, what we need to purchase, and given a timeline of what we need to purchase. We discussed at policy meeting that the plans, especially the new ones that we're developing, is to be reviewed every single year, the start of every school year. So if anything needed to be changed, it would be changed then at the start of the school year. Cause cost, I don't know, maybe something happened, we don't need something, but again, it will be reviewed every year because things are gonna change, cost is gonna change. So as, the first time getting the tech plan in a long time.
Well, and I thought that this was like a forward-thinking strategic plan on technology, but as I'm reading this, it's like, we need to come up with $213,000 this year. Because he said year 1 is critical in one of the notes. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like this isn't to me, this is not a plan, this is what we need. Without, it's like, okay, this is what we need to do, this is what we need, period, but what else is involved with that? Like, he can't replace the entire IT infrastructure in here by himself. So what else is involved? Is there gonna be contracted services that'll be required for some cabling, like, some more optics into that, the overall picture? And I don't know, I mean, Michelle, you're nodding your head,
I
so
think-
do you?
I'm like, we already have Spectrum in here, paid buku bucks for the fiber optics.
See, and that's just it, like, I think there's,
We pay them $1,100 a month.
well, yeah, for the access,
They ran the wires. So,
not through all the building.
did they were in
Did they run it
here.
through all the whole building?
Tom had them in here.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a good
Tom
example,
had
it's like, what else?
them in here, so.
All right, what I'll do is I'll have Jeff watch the meeting.
Yeah.
I wanna know what Spectrum did and why we're paying them so much.
I'll have him watch the meeting and
Tell him
take
to watch
notes,
from,
because
like,
my notes
7
go
to
all the way down the
7:30.
page, and
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna forget something.
Yeah, that's
But
fine.
this way he can look to say, okay, let me see what I can do to, update this and get
I
it
wanna
together.
know what they.
I mean, I
ran
think
and
it's a
what we're
great,
paying them
it's
for.
a great start. We're looking at, as I read this, I was like, oh my gosh, like now we have to come up with 213,000 this year. Like, and now I'm going, cause it says 2026, right? So
Yeah.
that's, we gotta take it at face value, is that's what the school needs. And then I'm saying, wow, total 5-year budget of $766,000. So I'm like, oh, does that mean over the next 5 years, we have to come up with another $750,000? Like, that's.
Right, so it's more realistic. Here's what, I think that if we looked at, here's what should be done, and here's what we can do. So what
Yeah.
can we take out of here to do this year?
Right.
What can we take to do this year? Yeah,
And I get
okay.
that, but, no, I mean, I don't mean to tear it apart too much, I just, I feel like if we're gonna bring this to the town, these are questions that they're gonna have too.
Okay.
Especially if there's hard dates tied to it, but, Carol?
I think we should ask Jeff, because if you look at the front cover, 5-year plan would mean it would start in the fall. So 26 to 2031 is 5 school years. So I'm not quite sure if what he's breaking down for year 1 would be this school year or not.
Well, that's just it, right?
Yeah,
So if
I
I
thi-
look
I
at
think
it, I
it's
said
for the fall.
2026, which is, that's coming up. That's still $213,000 we have to come up with a
We
real
have
short
7
amount of time.
Which isn't in the budget.
Yeah, and we have not even close to that to do this.
Right, right,
So-
okay.
So it has to be 2026.
Right.
Unless we start with what we got.
But even
left.
2027,
Unless
to come
they
up with a
Yeah, I
budget
know.
for next
What we
year,
have.
right?
So here's what we have for money, what can you do with it?
Right.
Well, that plus,
This year 1.
plus let's keep in mind, we put off putting money for the boilers. So that's gonna, once Brad comes back with the engineering, we're gonna have to put the boilers and the HVAC back in the picture at some point too, so.
Correct.
Right.
Just don't wanna
Okay.
get too scared.
Sounds good.
Hopefully when they read this,
But it's a
they'll
good
see
start.
why we
Yeah,
have
it's a
the
great start.
technology and they'll
Yes.
go
It's
It's
forward.
more than we've had in the past, for sure. Any other questions about that? SAU consolidation.
So I just wanted to let the board know that there is, of course, we're hoping that it doesn't pass, because we, as superintendents, just know that a lot of SAUs purposely move themselves out of SAUs. But currently in the House, there is a bill that what they're looking to do is they're looking to consolidate SAUs. Now, when I say consolidate, I mean by county.
Yeah.
So they just want one SAU per county, and that superintendent is not anybody, you don't have, it's an elected position, and you don't have to be certified. And they would run all the schools in that county. Big schools like, even big, like Nashua, they said, well, they could have their one county superintendent, and then they could have, one person that kind of almost like an assistant that oversees it, but small districts would not, they would just fall under that one county.
Even the courthouse has 2 Carroll County courthouses.
Well, and the counties are saying, where would we, because they would be housed
Yeah.
at the county. They're like, where would we house them? Where, So, yeah, so,
I mean, you already have.
Well, first floor probate's open.
I mean, you already have the prisoners and the retirees as neighbors, so why not bring the
It's
SAU
just, you
office
don't
there
move
too?
far.
I
You
mean,
just should be walking around in a circle, that's all.
but I know I know it's gonna be coming up for a vote, and so people are gonna want to, say what they feel about something like that, right? It doesn't look like a good thing for New Hampshire, right? They look at other states and say, oh, other states can do it, so can we. And I think this is just another way, and this is my opinion, just another way for the state to say, well, this is what an adequate pay for school districts would be, right? So they eliminate cost by saying, well, instead, and the cost is, what they say is, well, we'll just pay the superintendent what we would pay a regular county person. So they're saying, okay, so you're gonna have one superintendent that's now gonna be in charge to, in some cases, 10 schools, and you're not going to pay them.
It's gonna be a lot more than that for Carol.
You know, you're gonna be paying them less than what a superintendent is making that's doing one school. But it's gonna defray costs for the state, so.
Follow up, is that just for the, are they talking like one BA, one payroll, one accounts payable?
Oh, they're not even talking, they're talking about the, superintendent taking on the role of a BA and everything else getting put on the principals.
So you have, so nobody else, like it's the super and then it just goes right to the schools.
Yeah.
Time to retire.
Well, and you know, there's not gonna be very many superintendents running for that position, cause it's a voted-in position, so.
They really have to make the paycheck roll.
Heather?
You don't happen to know the bill number on that, do you?
I don't, but I can find out.
The
I had
what?
it and I just.
Bill
What,
number.
the bill number?
No,
I can look too, I just,
I know you know what it is, cause New Hampshire School Board Association sends
ah,
that.
that's right.
It's in
I
the
saw it.
last,
Yep.
like,
Never mind,
two.
I got it.
It's in, yeah, a couple past ones, it's there.
Okay. Next, we have HB 1265.
Michelle is up.
All right.
Yep. So this is another new law.
Look at Michelle with her poster visuals.
Well,
This is impressive.
you know, the good old state, good old law, put it on a piece of paper that doesn't exist, right?
I know. You can tell them what the requirement was.
Yeah, so the requirement was, so.
A certain
papers-
size
So the
paper.
paper's 8 by 11, right? So it would be 8, so it's 8, so it'd be 16 this way. So it was 18 by 24. So, but if you put two 8 by 11s together, it'd be 16 by 22, right? So why wouldn't they make it 16 by 22? No, it had to be, 18 by 24. So how do you get 18? Yeah, so Donna,
Send it to Stacey.
I have my big
Yes.
Post-its, so we cut it down. We were
That costs
the
money.
geniuses of all the BAs and stuff. So this is the new draft, so I have to present to the board because the board has to approve. So, and we have to create a narrative. Average cost per pupil for the last 10 years. And then the graph has to say our school district, mandatory report to voters on school expenses. This is average teacher salary for the last 10 years. Administrative salaries for the last 10 years has to be in graphs. They even had to tell us how the graphs have to be. And then the top administrators for 24 and 25. The top 4. And
For
this
what,
will,
payment or, I can't.
top 4, yep.
Of their
Salaries,
annual salary.
Their annual salaries for this year, well, for 24, 25, because obviously 26 will be next year. So,
You do this yearly, they want?
oh yes, yearly, laminated, posted in 4 places.
Oh.
2 public places, school, website, local paper, we don't have. So don't have to do it, don't have to spend the money for it. So, in the narrative, this report is issued in compliance with New Hampshire RSA 189-76. a statute adopted in August and first applied to the budget cycle beginning the following July. The law requires school districts to share certain financial and compensation data with the public as part of the annual school budget process, promoting transparency and informed decision making. Included in this report are charts illustrating 10-year trends in three key areas: average per pupil spending, average teacher compensation, and total administrative compensation to ensure accurate comparisons over time. All figures shown in these trends analysis have been converted to current dollar values using the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics inflation calculator. And then it identifies the top paid salaries. I got all the information from the U.S. Department of Education, because we report all of our teacher salaries and BA salaries, principal salaries, superintendent salaries, so all that information came from there. State law says that I have to post it a week before deliberative. We will be ahead of schedule because we're gonna post it when we post the warrant articles. And we'll post it at a post office, town hall, I don't know where they're gonna post it, so huge.
Yeah.
The SAU office, the school, and the website.
That's great. Yeah.
So the website, it will just be in a PDF format, which I, did I send that to you?
You can, yeah.
And a picture of what you just read. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And the, if we don't do it, if we don't post it, we can be sued.
So 4 different locations?
Telephone pole in front of the urban.
Yeah, it didn't say the locations.
I have a question. Are you supposed to have the actual number written down too, or just a graph? Because it looks like for the average cost per pupil, it looks like it's over 21,000 on the graph, but the list that we have is just now hit 20. So
It's CPI adjusted. That's what the narrative says. We have to CPI adjust it.
and that means what?
Cost per, it's inflation cost.
So not what our actual
Not what our actual, it has to be CPI.
Okay, well that's absurd.
Why would we possibly do
Why would we
Why would we
personally
want
do
the actual?
actual? So it's,
Foolish.
so Donna could bring a +1 to a superintendent, conference in Exeter, right? It was nice. Oh, can I have that narrative?
Yeah.
And, she said I had to go. I hemmed and hawed, but I was glad that I went because I met the BA from Portsmouth, and he created the spreadsheet according to the state guidelines that he was given, and he was talking to everybody, and I go, can you share that with me? So he shared it, and then a couple weeks later I went to Concord. He had to tweak it because the state said, oh, you have to do it based on inflation. So it's CPI, so we have to go to the CPI index to get adjusted CPI rates. And he has these formulas embedded in this spreadsheet that does all this magic. So it's technically based on that, even the teacher salary is,
Wow.
but not the administrator salaries. That's actual.
Okay.
And it says that in the narrative.
Suggestion besides that.
It's the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics inflation calculator.
Yeah,
So it's-
consumer price index.
Yeah, so it's right in the narrative. That's how we got it. That's what the DOE said to do.
Yeah, seems silly. Alright, so Will,
And you need a motion for,
Nope, no motion. It's just I have to present it to you, let you guys know that it's going up.
okay.
Thank you, Michelle. All right, let's move on to the middle school hours.
If I can just,
Thank you.
just step back just for 1 second.
Yep.
To let Heather know, and anyone else that's interested, it looks like it was House Bill 292, the consolidation, SAU consolidation, and then it was, that was last year, and now they've adjusted, made some changes, and now it's House Bill 1804.
Thank you.
Let's talk about middle school hours.
Yes, so I have coming your way a document. A document that I would like to have the board's approval to move forward with to talk to the community and our families about the change in our middle school hours. So what this is this would change our middle school hours from 7:30 to 2:15. And that would be 6th grade through 8th grade, because I'd like to change our 6th grade into our middle school model. So what that would look like is, this is what we're looking at so far. Our middle school would, 6th grade, would have 2 teachers. They would teach one, each teach a different subject area. We would not pod the kids, so it wouldn't be, you move with this group, move with this group, move with this group. It would be intermingled. So you may have different kids in your math, and you do your science and your social studies. So we're preparing them for as they start to move up. So we'd just be moving within the 2 teachers at that point in time for 6th grade. The time would still be 7:30 to 2:15. Then we would do our traditional 7th and 8th grade where they move amongst the teachers. And so we're looking at making the adjustment to the schedule. So this is what the schedule could possibly look like, because we wanted to look at how we could make lunch work and make it work for all the students. So you could see that, now it doesn't necessarily mean that the 6th grade would have lunch at 10:55, and then 7th grade, this is just a model of how it could work. So depending upon what we're offering would be how we would adjust these. But the one that would be the trickiest would be the one in the middle, because what the kids would do is they would go to, I'm just gonna say science for 20 minutes, go to lunch, and then go back to science. That is a typical thing they do in high school, so it wouldn't be anything unusual for kids to go through that, because they do it as they get older. But we think by changing this, it does a lot more things. Number one, it gives the students some independence from the elementary school, right? They become a middle school model, right? So it's almost like we're getting them to grow up a little bit, right? To get out of that elementary mindset. It also makes it the same time frame as most middle schools in the state of New Hampshire. It also gives them that opportunity of getting up earlier, right? Because one of the goals is to get the kids prepared for high school. So I know one of the biggest complaints that I'm receiving from parents is now their kids getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get on the bus, whereas before they were getting up at 8:15 to get here for 8:30, right? And so that, they're saying that's very difficult because it becomes hard. But it also helps because we had that conversation with Rochester a few weeks back regarding our kids potentially doing sports with them. They get out at 2:15. So if that was a case where our kids were gonna start participating in sports with Rochester, then it helps level the playing field, because our kids would get out right around the time that their kids get out, and they could make it over to the sports practices or games a lot easier, and they wouldn't miss any school time. We have other functions where kids leave early, right? This would benefit our kids because we're required by law to have so much seat time, and some of our kids are not getting that seat time because they're leaving, whether they're doing great things, right? The ski program, a wonderful thing, takes away seat hours though, right? And anything else that we choose to do, that it's gonna be better for our middle school students. I've met with our middle school team, and they're for the schedule. I got, of course you get the typical, I'm not sure if I can make that hours, but we've been talking through it with our teachers, and they really see benefits to changing the schedule.
This is a kind of overarching question, but like when it comes to sports and extracurriculars now, because we're getting out of 3, are we finding that's been an issue?
We had a basketball game where a boys and girls team showed up for a game at 2:25, and we still had school for another half an hour, so we had to figure out what do we do with this busload of children that just unloaded in our lobby.
Oh my goodness.
So we had to kind of call an audible and figure it out, but for them to show up for a middle school game and be like, what do you mean you guys still have school? Was kind of a culture shock for them.
And we use our gym to
Dismiss.
for bus dismissal.
Right.
So it's not like we can say, okay, you guys can go in the gym and practice. We have kids that come in there, right? And so we can't have other kids from other districts just wandering around our building.
Yeah.
And adults during the day. So there's things like that that'll be.
Does make sense.
So I'd like to get the board's consent to move forward, because this would be something that I'd like to speak to the community about, you know, and hear what they have to say. As far as transportation goes, what would end up happening is, we actually pay for our drivers to work so many hours in the morning for contract, so we would not have to pay anything more, because this falls into the number of hours. So instead of them doing one route, they would just do two, which it would be no cost to us. I've already spoken to the transportation about that. We would look at, if you think about how much smoother our dismissal would be for our elementary kids, because we would just have elementary kids at the end of the day. We'd look at different ways. We'd look at dismissing from that side of the building, so that way the middle school kids would not be coming down to the elementary side of the building to be dismissed, causing, you know, chaos in the building. And so we would, you know, really look at how we would do our dismissal process, but we think it would be much easier, especially coming in the morning. Then we talked about, okay, what if we have kids that watch their sibling in the morning? We have the before school program. In this case, we could allow a younger sibling to ride the bus with their sibling to get off, and then that child goes to class, and the smaller child goes to the morning program, so.
Would they have separate seats on the bus? I mean, because now you're just mixing maybe kindergartners with 8th grade, or.
Yes, but we do that right now.
I know,
But yeah,
but at
we would-
least they're kind of by grade where they have their other friends there. Now you might have one kindergarten at 20, 30 other middle
Yeah, we would make
schoolers.
sure that where they sat was appropriate, you know, if they're little like that, then I would say they need to be sitting behind the driver
Yeah.
versus the back seat of the bus,
Yeah,
right?
'cause that's a whole
But
nother
I
set of
think
issues,
it's-
yeah.
Yeah, but it would be a sibling, cause if you have,
Yeah, but they're not gonna necessarily sit together just because they're siblings.
no, but.
No, I mean, you can't, yeah.
They probably won't.
Yeah, exactly.
I
So
mean,
it's not like they're
it's
gonna
not
watch.
gonna be like
I
a
think
lot.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
So, get a motion?
Just a consensus, she said.
Yeah, so is that all you need? You don't
Yeah,
actually need a
I don't
motion?
think I need a motion until we decide to make the change, because what I'd like to do is, you know, have a forum with families, so that way they can come out and ask questions, because they may come up with something and I'm like, ooh, we never thought of that, or we never, you know, this
Okay.
way we have that. And I'd like to get input from the parents, especially because they're the ones that are gonna be living this. Just to say, you know, and then see if there's any other hurdles that we may need to support them with, or
Yeah.
that we may undergo, but.
This wouldn't affect like the CBA or anything, right? There's nothing in there that states anything for this.
No, and we've already met with the union, so.
Okay.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
They
I think
like
it's
it.
great.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Carol?
as long as we have the public forum for the.
Yes,
Mm.
that's
So-
my goal.
I want to thank Donna. The first thing I said to her when she took the job is, I said, we need a middle school schedule. So thank you. This schedule is brilliant. I anticipate a question from the parents about 12:30 dismissal days. And I know we don't have a lot of them, but would that be together or separate?
That would be separate.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So, yeah. All right, let's talk about the calendar. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so in front of you is the calendar. This is based on hours, not days. If we were actually gonna do hours, it would actually brought like another almost week and a half onto our calendar, so our kids would be getting out of school at the end of June. So this is based on hours. What I did what I do when I do a calendar is that, I write it, and then I send it out to all staff and say, please give me any feedback, any questions you may have, this is what I'm looking at. And so I get feedback from them, and then I meet with each union president to go over any adjustments or changes to the calendar, and so I have done all that. I have received feedback from all of our staff that wanted to provide feedback, and I have received feedback and made adjustments and changes based on items that the union has requested. One of the great things that I love about this calendar is that I don't think that we were doing our paras any justice with our old calendar, and why I say that is because They only had a few, I think 4 PD days, something like that. And so we could not provide them the training that they need to be successful with their job. With this new calendar, they actually are coming in every PD day that we have. And it also gives them an additional PD day where they can get their CPI training at the very beginning of the school year. So we'll already have them trained in certain things before school even starts to work with the populations of students that they'll be working with. So I think this schedule works a lot better because now instead of them having those days off, they're able to come in and get the supports and trainings that they need. And I had talked a lot to both the teachers union and the paras union that for me, PD has to be meaningful, right? It has to be something that is that you're gonna do your job. I don't want it to be something where they say, last minute we say, okay, we have the parent, because this is what normally happens, and I'm not saying it happens here, but this is the normal thing. We have a PD on Wednesday, where are the paras going? I don't know, where are the teachers going? Okay, just put them in that, right? And it's not meaningful for them at all. So we wanna make sure, in looking at our, schedule for next year, making sure it's very meaningful. I've asked that the presidents of the union, for the support staff union, what is it that you guys would like to see for PD, right? What is it that you guys feel you need? Because you know what you're doing when you're out there. What supports do you need in place? And so we've been talking about that. I would really, my goal, and I'm not sure because it's January, but it could work, is to actually have my PD schedule for next year out before the end of this year. So that way everybody is already aware of what they're gonna be doing next year.
Thank you for talking to the unions and the teachers and everything about this. And I didn't think of it when we voted on it last time, but it does say in the CBA that it's gotta be the days, not the hours. So are you gonna have a meeting to fix that before we get to that?
It doesn't say that. It says if you use days, if you use hours. So
Okay.
we went through I went through that and made sure it met everything that we need
I was
to.
kicking
It
myself
met the-
afterwards, like,
Well,
oh
I
no,
think-
it was in the CBA.
Well,
I
and this
didn't-
hasn't been approved yet. This will
Right.
be approved tonight, if
Okay.
the board sees it fit to be approved tonight. And so you see we have the new teachers week, 3 days, which would be the 25th, 26th, and 27th. So that would be new staff that would come in for those days, so we could do training for our new staff. And then our support staff would actually start on the 31st, and then the all staff come back on the 1st. So that gives us a great opportunity to work with our support staff on one day where there's not everybody else in the building, giving them the supports that they need. And then our regular staff comes back in. But there is certain things that say, they can't start till after the, Labor Day, those types of things. So I made sure all of that was in there.
Alright, and and the early releases, there's enough of those too, because I couldn't remember if it was 4 or 5, and I was trying to find it again.
it
I
says.
thought it was 5.
Yeah, but it says that you don't have to, it says you can have that many.
Okay.
So we have the 2 early release days for parent-teacher conferences, the one at the last day of school, and then the one in December. One of the things that is not on here that I was talking to the union about is, and I said, that could be something that we look at for the early release day in June. Normally CBAs have, you have one day at the beginning of the school year to set up your classroom, and then you have one day at the end of the year to take down your classroom.
Right.
Well, they don't have one at the end of the school year to take down their classroom. This is the first calendar that I've ever done, and I've done quite a few calendars, that their last day is the last day of the kids.
Right.
And so one of the things that I talked to the union about is I said, one thing that I'm gonna be talking to staff about as we start to move forward, that our last day of school is our last day of school. It does not mean that a week before you start putting books away and taking stuff down, and
'Cause that's
we
what
have
they-
education right up to the end, the last day, right?
Absolutely we
And
do.
again, not saying our staff would do that, but because they don't have that day, it's almost like they're gonna have to do it on their own, because it's not built into their schedule. That's why the early release day would be a good day for them to be able to check out and do all that stuff with their administration.
Okay, a follow-up question for that, because then you must be looking at how you'll do report cards, because they would always have the report cards done, and then the last 4 or 5 days don't count for the work that they've done, or the cleaning,
Well,
or whatever that
what
they've
it is
done.
the 11th is when grades close, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's when report cards go out, right? That will give some students the opportunity on those days to make up stuff that they need to. So we'll be doing some activities at the end of the year that could be enrichment for some kids that have got all their work done in completion. So I guess it's almost looking at a benefit for kids that hand their work in on time, do the stuff that they're supposed to do. Those last days of school will be educational, but how we look at it will be a little bit different. It'll be more enrichment type stuff than makeup. So you'll have kids sitting there having to make up their work, but the kids that have made up their work or done their work will be able to do enrichment type activities.
But if the grade already closed, then the makeup work doesn't essentially count.
They will,
Okay.
yeah, no, they work with the students.
Okay, I like it.
Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the 26-27 school year calendar.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Who seconded that?
I did.
Heather did.
Oh, you should check her.
Okay, next we have the year-round staff holiday schedule.
Didn't say anything.
I think that is in your packet.
Yep. Do you wanna make a comment?
Yeah, I did wanna make a comment on that. Normally we have 12
Yeah.
holidays, not 13.
Yep.
So I think that I would like to go back to the 12. I make a motion to take away one of the Thanksgiving days, so there's 2 and not 3. Most state employees and other employees only have 12 holidays. I'd like to follow suit.
Typically, it's the day after Thanksgiving, right?
Right. I don't care which one they want, but it would make sense if they would like a long weekend to do the day after. But I think it's important to go back down to the 12 holidays. I make a motion to change it to 12 holidays. Take away one of the Thanksgivings.
A second.
Discuss,
For
discussion?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, just,
For discussion.
Donna?
Seeing that, you know, we don't pay our staff a lot of money, I think that giving them one extra day off a year would be beneficial. I mean, our teachers don't work it, our paras don't work it. It's just the year-round staff that work that one day, and I think that it's just one day, right? And it gives them more time to prepare, it gives them more time with their family. I think it's a benefit that we can offer our staff, right? We wanna keep really good quality staff, and I think that it's no cost to the district to give them that one day.
My feedback is that the school runs to benefit kids. And, I mean, when you look at, I already, look at the schedule even this past year and years ago. What do you mean you don't have school on Wednesday? Like, Thanksgiving's Thursday. Everybody's off Friday, so now we're extending that to a Wednesday for children. And I agree with Thanksgiving, because also we have to take into account that we have an extra floater day this coming year at Christmas time. Because, so there's an extended Christmas break, the way the schedule falls, where you know, you have that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, kinda coming right into the new year too. So I saw the 3 Thanksgiving, days, and, the kids are here, right, on that Wednesday, so they're not here on that Wednesday?
No.
No, the only staff that would be here.
Okay. So how come we don't have like a teacher's workshop on that day?
Because we're only allowed to have so many teacher workshops.
So we have them on Fridays, we can't move one to have it, is that just kind of that, we can't change that
No,
around?
I honestly think that may be in their contract that we don't.
And that's fine, I'm just asking, that's all. Mary?
It is in the CBA to have that Wednesday. It started, I want to say 1999. The teachers did bring it up simply because of the Thanksgiving, we would just call it Thanksgiving break. because families get together, the cooking, the traveling, that's how it was discussed, so that's when it was put in, that's when it started. I like half day on Wednesday before Thanksgiving, I think that works, so, but, you know.
I still am on that it should be a work day. They have vacation time if they wanna spend it with their family, they can use their vacation time.
Or they can use the floater day.
Or they can use their floater day. Any more discussion?
I'll just say I'm the opposite way. Since the kids aren't here, the teachers aren't here, I'm fine with the staff not being here.
But
So
the
having-
teachers and the kids aren't here on April, vacation, or February, or
Yeah.
December, or,
That's true.
so.
And there's, and we're talking maybe, what, 10 staff?
Yep.
Out of how many staff do we have?
Over 100.
Yep, well, I mean, it's how it's been, I don't
Well, there's a motion and a second,
know. Yep.
so all in favor on them?
What was the motion?
Motion was
is
to
go-
take away one of the
Yeah.
To go
Thanksgivings.
back to
Yeah.
To
12?
2,
Yep.
yeah, to 12 holidays.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye.
Aye,
Do you oppose or do you aye? I don't know.
aye, you,
Aye, okay.
aye, you.
Alright.
Decisions.
Alright.
I don't know. What did you vote?
I said
She said no.
I said
No.
keep the 13, so
Oh,
I went
you
with,
did?
I went with the
So you-
proposed.
so-
It's 2 to 2, you're the
2-2.
tiebreaker, Mary.
No, no?
Yeah,
Yes,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you're for 12 days?
for 12.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm 13,
I'm
you're
13.
13. And the reason I'm 13 is that I look at this and I don't see any other way around it. I don't think 12, I think going down to 12 benefits anybody. If it benefited, then I'd say yes, but.
Didn't we originally have 10?
It floats between 10 and 12. They just keep adding, cause now you've got a floater day and essentially 2 floater days.
Okay, I
So-
vote for 12 days in the floater. So I vote in favor of the motion. Right?
You vote for 12 days or 13, cause the floater's
12.
included with the 13. So,
What do you mean?
they've got the floater
Yeah.
and that one.
that's- Yeah.
So I'm taking this one out.
Well,
Okay.
I
So that's
like
12
the
days.
idea of the day before Thanksgiving, but
Well, they
the
can-
floater day, they could use for that
They can use
purpose.
they can use it for that purpose and take away the December
We already
31st.
have a floater.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's in there.
that's what they mean. You can
Yeah,
move
but
it, it's
the-
a floater, it doesn't have to be on the
How
31st.
many days were there this year?
12, I looked it up.
Right.
It's
It's
11
always
with a
been-
floater,
So why do we have
So
13
that's
this
12.
year?
cause our super told us to put in
I asked them to put in
extra day.
that extra, I asked her to put in the day, before Thanksgiving.
Right, but they
I
can
see
use that
that- I
floater
s-
day for that Thanksgiving.
I think that's more for, they use it more for, 4th of July, that type
What?
of stuff, or in
So-
the summer.
The float,
So,
yeah, the floater day, they get to use it and they try to combine it.
No.
Like if
Okay.
there's a
Can I explain?
holiday, like.
Yep.
Okay, so when I started in 2020, when Jerry was here and he had me do the holiday schedule, he said we have 11 holidays and 1 floater
That makes 12, yeah.
because they called it a floater depending on when Christmas fell. And if Christmas was on a Wednesday or Thursday, they used we got Thursday and Friday off, but they called a floater for Wednesday or whatever, or they gave you Christmas Eve off and Christmas off, and they gave you a floater to have Friday off, so you wouldn't have to come in on a Friday. So they gave you the extra time at Christmas.
Yeah.
But if Christmas was on a Friday, they gave you Thursday and Friday off, so you had a floater. So he said that they would look at the schedule and say, okay, you can have 2 days at New Year's. You could have Thursday and Friday off. So depending on when those Christmas holidays fell, cause the SAU office has to be here when the school's in session. Like, we can't have a holiday off if the school's over there.
Right.
Okay, so you'd have to be here if the school's here. So he said, depending on when those Christmas holidays fell, you could use it for July 4th. If July 4th was on Thursday, you could take Thursday and Friday off
Yep.
and only get 3 days at the Christmas holiday. Like, who cares about New Year's Eve? We come in on New Year's Eve, New Year's is on Friday, or whatever, you know? So that's how that floater was used. So it was 11 holidays plus 1, 12. So it's been that the whole time since I've been there, since 2020.
Who determines when you use the floater?
It depends on when the holidays were.
Is it the superintendent?
And that's
So
typical.
you can't pick your own?
Well, we never had a super here, so it's kind of just.
That is
it's kind
typical.
of-
I mean,
It's
what
kind
you
of
said
the
is,
SAU office that determined, we kind of,
Michelle, what you said is right. I mean, if
Yeah.
Christmas is
if Christmas
Thursday,
is
you
on a
should have Friday
Wednesday.
off.
Well, that's why they
So,
have the floaters.
yeah,
They already have a floater.
That's why we call
Yeah.
it, like, if Christmas was on Tuesday, we'd get Christmas Eve off Monday, Christmas. Do we want the day off after Christmas? Yes. More people want the day off after Christmas than the day off after New Year's or whatever. You know, so that's how it was determined. Or it's determined, is it payroll run? Is it, you know, stuff like that. So that's how it was determined.
Well, I think we had a vote,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, you did.
it's 12 days.
Yeah.
Did
3
we?
to 2.
Yeah, it's a 12-day calendar.
Well, did you vote 12? 'Cause
She
you
said 12, yeah.
12.
Yeah.
Yep, so it's 2 to 3. All right.
3 to 2.
Yeah, 3 to 2.
Yeah, 3 to 2.
It was 3 to 2.
No, 2 to 3.
No, my
There was
motion was to
3.
take it away, so 3 said yes to take it away and 2 said no.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you didn't want it?
Pardon?
She didn't want to take the day away?
She does want to take the
does
day
want
away.
to.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
We're 12
Okay.
holidays now.
Yes,
Yes.
right. I'm sorry if I didn't. Well, I said it and
So
then
Maria's
we
motion
started
carried.
talking.
Yeah.
Then we started talking about it again.
Mary wants it to be 12 days. We have it for 13, she wants it 12.
That's what I thought she said.
Yeah, the motion was.
So the mayor,
mo-
yeah,
so
to
the
go
motion
down to
passed
12 days.
That they're taking the day away.
Tired.
Right.
Tired and cold.
Yeah.
No. 3 to 3. Three
This one
three
gets
voted
off
to
the
take
Because
the
they
day
voted
away.
to take it away, they voted negative.
Off the rails.
Yeah.
And Mary wants the 12 days.
Yes.
Yes, 3 to 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was it was like a negative, they voted, it was to remove 12 days, to remove 1 day.
Yes,
Okay.
to make it 12 holiday days.
Yeah.
Do you need me to reword my motion, Priscilla?
Huh?
Do you need me to reword my
Yes, I
motion?
would like that.
I'd make a motion to convert the calendar to 12 holiday calendar days.
Yeah, I had that.
Okay. 3 to 2.
Okay, so let's move on to scholarship prompt.
So,
Yep.
so I need to know if you wanna use the same prompt, or do you wanna change it?
I still like it. Unless
what is
someone's got a
that?
better question. It's the
Oh,
one
who has
where
the
it's most influential in your life other than the family member explain why. The other one was, I thought it was like, who would you talk to in a past life? Maybe that was a PTA one.
No, that's a good question.
Yeah.
That's the Judy Mason one.
For the, who would you want to have a conversation with? I really liked
Yeah,
that
that's
one
a
too.
good reason.
Yeah,
That's the one that I like.
Yep. But we already have that one somewhere else, so.
Alright,
But
so you-
unless someone's got a more creative question, I like it.
I've always, I don't know. I don't know how to word it, but I've always thought that like I would like the prompt to stimulate thought around future.
There you
So like something along the lines of, what do you find, or what passion would you like to pursue in life, and who influenced your decision? Something along those lines. I just don't know. I've never never known exactly quite how to word it. I mean, I like this one, and the responses we've gotten in the past are always been great, but
Yeah.
I've always been like, yeah, it's great to have an influence, but like,
The first Judy Mason, was very well written, and it was, what teacher influenced you the most? And there was another couple lines, but look at it and I agree with it.
but anyway, that was just my input.
Do you wanna change it to, sorry, do you wanna change it to teacher? I know where you're coming from. Can we, I would like to get rid of other than a family member.
Yeah, because it might.
Cause
be a
I don't
family.
like that
Yeah.
wording in there. I mean, you have a lot of, family members
Well,
that.
they're gonna pick their family members.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it doesn't, but they still have to explain why.
I know, but
You know.
I feel like if you ask, other than your family member, you're looking for somebody that
And they have to
actually
think about
has,
it, right.
Yeah.
has an influence outside, that obviously is looking outside or paying attention outside of just your family.
I don't know.
I mean,
I like it the way it is.
I do like it the way it is with that question.
Well, I
Yeah,
don't.
I like it that way. I'm struggling with yours. I see where you're going and I can't come up with the wording and I was trying to work it into this one, like who has,
I can't recall.
who
the
would
gender.
have an impact or would impact
Influence.
your view of what you're going to do in the future, like who
That's
has.
perfect right there, what you just said.
Carol has the answer.
Well, I'm a former English teacher. I can
Yeah.
come up with a question for you.
Yep.
So I think if I heard you correctly, you want something like throughout your life so far, who has impressed you the most thinking for your future or planning for your future or getting excited
Planning for
about
your
your future or
future,
something
or-
like
yeah.
that. Whether it's a family member or not.
Yeah,
and you
that's
can
good.
add that blurb or don't add that blurb about the family member. I think that's what you were trying to get to.
No, I wanted them to talk more about what they're passionate about.
For the future?
Yeah, and who sparked that passion?
Why don't you say that?
That's a
Yeah,
good
that's
way of
That was a
saying it.
good
I
way
guess
of
that's
saying
a-
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
You said it yourself.
Right.
That's perfect.
He
You
just
know, like-
sees your words.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. That
So
makes
I don't
sense.
know. I mean, it's just.
I
What
like
do you mean you
Robert's.
don't know? You just said it.
No, I don't
thought it
know.
was
Like
good,
if
yeah.
everybody, how everybody
No,
else
that's-
feels
that's
about
Yeah,
that, change of direction.
I
but-
mean, we would vote, but yeah, I thought that was good.
Yeah.
I liked that.
Yeah.
Reason.
So rephrase it again.
I can't even think what I just.
Don't you hate that? I get that all the time. What do you say, Priscilla?
I've been battling the cold.
He
for the
did
last-
say who sparked that passion. I don't remember the first word.
So what are you passionate about, and who sparked that passion?
Who sparked, yeah, okay. That's it, the line about.
Something like
Yeah.
that.
What are you passionate about for your future?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
what it was?
Yes,
What
yeah.
are you
Yeah.
passionate about for
What are
your
you passionate
future,
about
and
for
who
your
sparked that
And
passion?
who sparked that?
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
good.
there you
Who
go.
sparked it and why? Like,
Yeah.
no,
No, you're not.
you know.
So
Well,
I'll
yeah.
formulate something and send it out to the board, and then they can just send it back, yes or no?
Perfect.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. So next we go on to the annual report cover.
So I have with me today,
Dun, dun,
and
dun.
I don't know if you want, I can show you it first, but these have no numbers. So I did something a little bit different this year. What we did is, I thought that we let our graduating 8th grade students take on the responsibility of creating the annual report, the front page for our annual report. And so I have with me today 5 of them for you, the board, to vote on. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna hold it up and then pass it around so that way people in the community can see. So this is number 1 here. All right, so I just wanna put it this way so that way they can see. So this is number 1, and then I will pass them around. This is number 2. Here.
You'll see it in a minute.
Yeah, you have to pass around second.
Oh, I will,
reading.
yeah, I will. I just
Yeah.
wanna do it to the camera as well.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So this is number 3 here. This is number 4.
I'd be hard to print.
And then this is number 5.
This is
I
the most
can-
pressure-filled thing I've had to do since being on the
So we're just
board.
picking number 1 through 5, that's all.
1
Yeah.
through 5.
So, I can rip up some paper, and then you can put your number on it, and then whoever wins the we'll come back to our meeting, the first one in February, to, meet the board and get, I think it's $25.
$25, yeah, yes, gift.
Yeah.
Here comes the yellow paper.
I'm coming in late tomorrow. He's crazy.
Yeah, and you know how they did it too, right?
Me too.
See how they did a race?
Make up your own minds over there.
No, I
Yeah,
just,
let 'em
no, when
look.
you see the
Leave 'em
picture,
look. I know.
you'll see the technique, how they did it, that's what I was commenting on. Does that mean it was his pitch?
I know.
Just,
No, they just use it to call it favorite.
did you pick one?
I did. On the bottom there.
If you want me to
For
keep
the
that.
I'm telling you.
No, I don't wanna know.
Phone number.
So she wants
No,
to
I
look at
just-
yours.
You gonna fold it?
Yeah.
You're in Aquarius? Yes, that's right, your birthday's the day before mine. I don't think I remember that.
Heather's not voted yet.
No.
This is hard.
I'm gonna slide it over.
I think he did.
I know.
I think he did, but it's
Slide
not upside
Oh,
down.
is it, oh,
I
okay.
think so.
I have Friday off. Nice.
No?
No.
No, I don't think he was there.
It's all in your
Gonna
head.
debate
It's
that.
all in
I'll
your head.
slide it under the bathroom door. and say,
Yeah.
Waiting on you, sir.
Wrong paper.
What happens if we all picked a different one?
Well, there's 5 of us, so somebody's gotta.
We'll have to.
Oh no, yeah, there is 5 of us,
Yeah.
so we can all
I already-
pick one.
Oh my God.
You gotta write down.
I have to have a tiebreaker.
Yes, no looking, don't show Mary. She's gonna look
Did all the kids participate, or,
No, they don't have all, it's the ones that want to.
wait a minute, just, okay, okay.
I'm not gonna say a live one, cause I just, if the
Right,
kids are
no, I
watching,
don't
I don't
think
wanna
you're
be, I'll
supposed
just,
to,
I'll
yeah.
just say who wins.
Right.
They all win.
They all
Yes,
win.
They did good.
Michelle's double
Just to be
checking for
the one.
accuracy.
I know.
Oh my God, everybody voted for the same ones.
She just, oh my
I
God.
just said I didn't want to, it was the kids.
Can't take Michelle
Use your
anywhere.
knitters.
Yeah.
This is the
Old age.
It's nice.
It was hard.
Yeah.
It is hard, it's, cause they're.
Yeah, they're all great, they're all great.
I've loved the drawings on them.
Do we announce the student tonight or not?
No.
Now,
No,
the next one?
cause I don't
Okay.
know who the student is.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right,
I didn't wanna
yeah.
know the names.
That's right, yeah.
It's number 4.
Number 4, in case
Yeah.
in case I was
One.
peer pressured.
All right, so next we have the DARE program. We add that to the agenda.
so is the DARE program, cause I saw something on social media that we're a DARE community. And the officer was at our school. Is that program coming here?
Yes,
Why?
just
why?
5th grade. The police department approached us, approached the school at the beginning of the school year to start back up the DARE program for 5th grade. And so, we met, I had our counselor meet with them and go over what they would be teaching, and so, that way I made sure it aligned with anything that we needed to teach our kids for health reasons, or anything that has to do with our 306s. And so a lot of this stuff aligns with what they would be normally taught in health. And so this is something that I would probably say almost all, if not a large majority of 5th grade classes do, is the DARE program. And so we have it's a community, it's a school and community working together with the students.
Well, because, well, first of all, I'm, surprised that it got sent to me, it was when it was posted on social media and not, informing us first, about it.
Well, their program was abolished.
Well, Exactly, the DARE
brought it up.
program has been, was stopped a long time ago. I wouldn't say it was completely abolished, but it had stopped
Here,
after.
when you say it was abolished, what do you mean?
No, I
In our
didn't-
district?
I said
I
it.
didn't say,
It didn't work supposedly, and it was supposedly worked the wrong way.
so. Okay, well, when you look up the DARE program in many articles, it will state that some studies concluding the program was harmful and counterproductive.
That's what I meant.
DARE did nothing to reduce illicit drug use. One study found DARE students were actually more likely to use drugs.
Can I ask where your sources are on those?
Well, I have like different sources, so
You have what?
I have different sources that I was reading from. So, New Hampshire Public Radio did several articles on
And
it.
didn't we start another one years
There
ago?
are, well, the problem the biggest issue is that the DARE program does not work, and there are better choices to use in a school than the DARE program. That's why it used to be funded by the government, but it's not anymore. It's,
So,
yeah, even the Surgeon General of the United States placed the DARE program in the category of ineffective primary prevention programs, and that was in 2001. So,
24 years old.
I'm just, but that's how far back that's when they
Well, but
stopped
Unless they
doing
started it
it.
up again, for
I
sure.
mean, I had the DARE program when I was in school in the 80s, so I mean, it's
I think some of my
It's been
kids had
around
it
forever.
here.
but-
I went through the DARE program, both of my kids went through the DARE program.
I mean,
My kids went to it.
I mean,
They
it's,
loved it.
We also do Too Good for Drugs in
Yes,
school.
we did.
yeah, we also do Too Good for Drugs for our younger kids, so it's the same thing, it's just, we have a 5th grade does DARE, so we do what's Too Cool for Drugs, right?
Too Good for Drugs.
Too Good for
is,
Drugs,
for middle school.
for middle school, and 5th grade does
Yeah.
DARE, so it's,
Are you just worried about their curriculum? Because it sounds like they
well,
went
I
over it
don't
with the
know,
guidance
like,
counselor in the
you
6th
know,
grade.
again, like when it's gonna be taught,
Because I
what
believe
time
she-
of day is it gonna be, it's part of health.
I think, because Donna had brought this
I
isn't the
believe
first
she
time we've
did,
heard
yeah.
about this, it was brought up
Yeah.
at a previous meeting.
Yeah,
Well, I
that
must have
Wakefield
missed it
had
because I
a
don't
meeting with
remember
her
it at
about
all,
it,
so-
bringing it back. Yeah.
Yep,
I
I'll bring it
remember.
back. 'Cause I immediately thought.
I didn't know if
I
it
want a
was
t-shirt.
voted on or
Yeah.
anything. All right, I have nothing else.
All right, so let's move on to policies. We have second readings. So the first one is policy JJA, student activities organizations. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion to approve JJA, student activities organizations.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have policy JJIB, interscholastic activities, or athletics, I'm sorry.
I make a motion to approve policy JJIB, interscholastic athletics.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye. I make a motion to approve policy JJIC, eligibility for interscholastic athletes.
All in favor?
Aye.
We didn't second
You
it.
gonna say-
Oh, sorry. Robert,
Sorry.
I'm following you.
Just go.
We're
So-
moving the train along.
I'll,
So it's just, so we have policy JLCA, physical examinations of students.
I make a motion to approve policy JLCA, physical examinations of students.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have policy JLCB, immunization of students.
I make a motion to approve policy JLCB, immunizations of students.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next, we have policy JLCC, head lice, pediculosis.
Okay, I make a motion to approve policy JLCC, head lice.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have policy JLCJA, emergency plan for sports-related injuries and additional protocols for athletic participation.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have policy JLCK, special physical health needs of students.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next, we have policy JLD, school guidance program and services.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next, we have policy JLIA, supervision of students.
I make a motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And lastly, we have policy JLIF, receipt and use of sex offender registry information.
I make a motion to approve.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I do have a question, Bob.
Yes, sir.
Before we go on to the next one. So you're printing these off. I've been a good boy and kept my book up to snuff.
Stop it, brown
Completely
lizard.
full. I can't get any more in there. I was told maybe we shouldn't be doing that because you're gonna make new books, everybody?
I'm gonna make new books, but you can take out the old ones.
I do. There's more pages going in than comes out.
All right, so if you guys want, you can continue to get those, or I can just make new
So
books.
if we're not gonna do books, then maybe we shouldn't print these then, right?
Policies?
Yeah,
I like
policies.
to proofread them off paper, actually, I admit.
Right, yeah.
Before, okay.
Well, just like right now.
No,
gonna put
he's
it in a
talking about
reminder
these.
for you.
Oh, when we get
Still
the
need
binder
new
talking
ones.
about these
I
ones.
see.
I'm asking if I should put them in the old binder, if we're gonna get
Please
them.
do, yeah, just do it.
Okay.
No need to, Bob, you're getting a new book.
When she says yes, you say no.
She is.
All right, so next let's move on to nominations, hires, resignations. First, we have Nicole Lazars.
They're just resigning.
Kelly Burke.
You need a motion on this?
The most support. No, Kelly's support.
We don't have anything under follow-up, so we have our second public comment right now. Anything from you, Max? With all that said, could I get a motion to go into non-public, please?
I'll make a motion to go into non-public under RSA 91A 32C.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call.
Will Costas, aye.
Telefero, aye.
Collins, aye.
Let I.
Nicole Snecker, aye. We are in non-public.
Ta-da.